Stadium here in Waxahachie, Texas. I'm Adam Ferguson, joined by my broadcast partner for the evening, Matt Williams. Matt, how are we doing tonight?
Hey, we're doing very good. Anytime we get to talk some college football, it's always a good evening.
Well, you are in store for a good one as the Langston Lions make the drive down from Langston, Oklahoma to Waxahachie to face off against your hometown SAGU Lions. And it's a Lion versus Lions matchup, so we're going to be careful tonight with what we're saying. Langston comes in tonight 5-2 in conference, 5-2 overall, 4-1 in conference, while the SAGU Lions struggling this season after a loss last week to Texas College. They are 0-7 overall, which means they are 0-5 in conference. So it's going to be an interesting game to watch, to say the least, tonight.
Yep.
We're going to go live to our field reporter, Riker Russell, who's going to tell us what it feels like down on that field. Riker, down to you.
Thanks, Adam. I'm on Lions territory, and I can feel that the Lions are hungry this evening. It's been a tough season for SAGU, but I've talked to the guys, and they said no matter what, they are going to come out and play their very hardest. Right now, the sun is out, and the humidity is high at 45%. It is 58 degrees and going to drop to the 40s by 9 p.m. Needless to say, though, it is a great day for football. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you, Riker. It's football weather here in Waxahachie. You can see by the coat that we have on. It's a little chilly up here in Waxahachie. So let's talk about the Lions. Again, winless to start the season. Matt, Langston's, it's a tough hill to climb. What do the Lions have to do to beat the Langston Lions tonight?
Yeah, we just have one key for our own SAGU Lions to come out with the win tonight, and that is maintain possession of the football. You need to focus on slow, methodical drives to chew the clock and put valuable points up on the scoreboard. You know, typically you want to go down and get a touchdown, but SAGU needs to get anything they can, whether it be a field goal, a touchdown would be great, even the point after would be great as well, but they need to maintain possession just because the longer that they hold the ball, the less that Langston has an opportunity to score.
It makes sense. Honestly, it does. Speaking of the SAGU Lions, we're going to go live to Riker again, who is with head coach Ryan Smith. Let's see what Coach Smith has to say about what the Lions have to do to walk away with the win. Riker, down to you.
Thanks, Adam. Coach Smith, your offense is predicated on getting players that can make big plays in football. How is that going to look against Langston's defense tonight?
You know, we're trying to get a lot of movement early, and getting Justin Allen back helps. Brylan's in a lot better rhythm this week coming off that injury, and he's still a young quarterback that's finding his way. But, you know, we're going to have a lot of pre-snap movement and just kind of see where it goes from there. It allows us to see spacing before it happens. It's going to really help our guys find the space and get into creases where we need them to.
Langston's running back, Tim Whitfield, is only 69 yards away from reaching 1,000 yards. What are you going to do to stop such a pivotal player like that?
You know, the big thing we tell our defense is fly to the football. Let's meet at the football. And, you know, teams have struggled design runs with us all year because we play things so well. Really proud of our D-line, our linebackers, the whole defense for how hard they fight, how hard they play. This whole bunch has just fought all year. No matter what comes their way, they keep fighting. So expect the same thing today.
Ultimately, what is it going to take to win your first home football field?
One play at a time. You know, we just talked to our guys about having infallible focus. Infallible focus is an element where you don't doubt. You just focus on that moment. Don't worry about the next play. Just worry about this moment, and let's maximize on this moment, and then from that moment, we'll move to the next one. Play one play at a time. We're going to fight for 4 quarters or 4 days, whatever it takes.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck today. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you, Riker. Thank you, Coach Smith. As always, I know it's got to be tough to come into a game as a winless team, but Coach Smith is going to have his guys ready. So let's go to the other side of the ball and talk a little bit about Langston, what they have to do to walk away with a win today. And really, it comes down to playoff positioning for Langston. The top 20 teams essentially have a shot at the NAIA playoffs. They come in outside that top 20, barely outside that top 20, at top 22. So either way, I know that they're coming in probably with high spirits. They're facing a team they should realistically walk away with a win from. But to crack that top 20, I think the Langston Lions, they got to keep their foot on the gas and come away with a huge win rather than just maybe a 17-7 win. I think they have to come in and blow out the SAGU Lions to try to get themselves into that top 20 position. The season's not over for the Langston Lions. They may have lost that de facto championship game against Ottawa of Arizona, which was a good game. It was a good win. It was essentially for the conference championship between those two teams. But the season is not over for Langston by any stretch of the means, and we're going to get the chance to watch some good players that so happen to lead this conference in some statistical categories for this Langston Lions team. It's always a fun game to watch. It's turned into a little bit of a rivalry, but we're going to go live down to the field to watch the coin flip national anthem, and then we'll be right back for kickoff right here on the SAGU Sports Network.
At this time, we would ask everyone to stand and remove your hat as we honor God with prayer. Then, please remain standing in the face of the flag as we honor our nation with the singing of the national anthem of the United States of America, performed by the SAGU student, Riker Russell. Father God, we thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. We pray for safety and we pray that you keep every athlete in the field safe and free of injuries. That everything we do would be for your glory and your honor. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Jerry Hall, Landon Jones, Jared Shelton, and DeMarcus Great. Honorary Captain Eric Berry.
And there we have it. We are ready for kickoff here. How about that nice little surprise? Riker, our own sideline reporter with the national anthem. Well done. It was beautiful. But as we get ready for kickoff here, there you see SAGU's their schedule to this point in the season, and the big problem there, that win-loss column is just full of L's, Matt.
Yeah, and that's a big thing this SAGU season. Their expectations haven't met reality, but one thing they can do is keep their nose to the grindstone and keep hacking away.
Langston will take the opening kick as SAGU will have the option at halftime. And for Langston, I talked about a player who's filling the stat sheet this year. That is Tim Whitfield, the running back, leads the conference in rushing, and he's looking to hit 1,000 yards this week. He's less than 50 away, I believe, from 1,000 yards on the season. Has just been so dominant for this Langston Lions team. So we'll keep an eye out for him, again, wearing number 44 out of the running back position as we are underway here in Waxahachie. The kick is going to be a short one, and it's fielded at the 10-yard line and looking to bounce it up the middle, and he's got room to run. He's got to pass the 40, now down past the 50, and he's got a blocker in front of him. TH makes the touchdown saving tackle as that was brought back by Langston, number 4. It looks like it was Ross Anderson who brought it back, and now he's slow to get up, and that's not what you want to see. That's either Ross Anderson or Barry Handy Jr. If it is Handy Jr., that is a pretty important player on the offensive side of the ball for Langston.
Yeah, and you never hope to see someone get hurt in the first play of the game. However, he did find a seam very early on, and he shot the gap. Luckily, TH was there to corral him at the end of the play.
And you never want to see your kicker in a position to make a touchdown-saving tackle, especially TH, who's actually had a bit of an injury bug this season. Hasn't been 100% healthy. We've seen it affect his kicking game, so we'll keep a close eye on him as the game moves along. But a good job by the special teams unit, at least TH on the back side. As a whole, not a great job by the special teams unit, as Langston's going to be set up here at the 35-yard line. But there you see TH, Talong Hamung, the junior, saving a touchdown as Langston comes out on offense led by Jordan Cooper, the freshman at quarterback wearing number 10. And he's got Whitfield in the backfield with him. They've got two out wide to the right. Cooper in the shotgun. Takes a snap, and he's back to pass. Gets it out to the flat, and it's brought in. And now out past the 20. He fumbles the ball, but it goes out of bounds. The referees are saying it did touch out of bounds. It's going to be a close to a first down. We're going to call it 2nd and 1. He got it out to his man on the outside. And then, unfortunately for the Lions, it was Cameron Mims. He fumbled it, and it just barely made it out of bounds.
Yeah, Jalen Moss was able to cover ground very quickly. The quarterback was very smart there. They saw a soft cushion, and so they hit the out, put it in their star player's hands ASAP.
They're going to give them the first down. Here comes the pistol formation, hands it off to Whitfield. Whitfield looking for some running room, and that is the bright spot so far this season. If you could pick one for the Lions, their run defense has been pretty good this season, and there we see them drop Whitfield for no gain.
Yeah, those defensive linemen, the big hogs up front, you want them to create and get into the backfield, and there they got a big push off the snap, and they were able to get back there and get Whitfield.
We got 2nd and 11. They're going to say it was a loss of 1. Empty backfield here for Cooper. 3 out wide to his left, 2 to his right. Cooper takes a snap. He's back to pass. He's actually going to fake the run, spin out to the left. Now he's looking for anywhere to go. Jordan Coleman misses a tackle, and the Lions can't bring him down, and they finally do for a big loss down back past the 35.
The freshman there making a little thing happen with his feet, and he tried to do a little bit too much. Luckily, SAGU had their pursuit on the backside to corral him. He makes a great spin move to get outside the pocket, hits him with another move, even gets Jordan Coleman, who's very tackle savvy, and they were able to get him down for a tackle for loss.
This is going to be 3rd and long. They're going to call it 23 here from just in front of that 35-yard line. They're going to call it the 34. So a big test here on 3rd down for Langston. They come out 5 wide. Cooper in the backfield by himself. Cooper takes a snap. The Lions bring pressure. He's rolling out to his right now, looking for a man downfield. He's going to dump it off, and it's incomplete. Kind of threw it in between 2 receivers. There is a flag down on the play over towards the SAGU sideline.
It looked like Gus Wright may have got in the neutral zone on that one and got offsides. We'll wait for the call.
Offside. Defense, number 49. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Makes 3rd down.
So the Lions looked to maybe get Langston off the field on 3rd down, but a 5-yard penalty makes this 3rd and 18 now from the 29-yard line.
SAGU still has a great opportunity to come away and put them in a 4th down, and I don't really.
Well, you got to think it's 4-down territory.
Exactly.
Right now. The Langston wants to put points up on the board to try to help themselves in that ranking. I don't see them kicking a field goal, even if they get no yards here. I don't see them kicking a field goal. Here is Cooper, 5 wide, 3 out to his right, 2 to his left. Cooper managing the game at the line. SAGU brings 3. Here's Cooper back to pass. Clean pocket. He's going to go deep. Kobe Roach with the interception inside the 10-yard line. He's going to bring it back. He's going to get past the 30, past the 40, past midfield, down past the 40, and it is out of bounds. Correction, that's Jeff Lavrin with the interception, and he brings it back, and SAGU gets a big stop there on 3rd down.
And that was a great read there. We saw the freshman quarterback making adjustments at the line, which you always love to see. However, SAGU was sitting in a cover 3. As soon as the cornerback read that, he bailed right with that receiver and played the ball perfectly.
Jeff Lavrin, good job staying in his zone, and then to make something happen after he gets the ball in his hands. Looked like a punt return, getting it past the 50. Now SAGU is set up with good field position just inside the 35-yard line, and here they are led by Brylan Watson. 1st and 10 Lions in a pistol. And he's going to hand it off to big Derek Shelby, who just played a defensive series and now lines up in the backfield. We saw that a couple of weeks ago. There's really not any mystery when he gets the ball, what he's going to try to do with it.
Not exactly. He's a north and south runner. He's a bruiser.
Derek Shelby gets a gain of 3 on 1st down. So now let's flip it over to the SAGU player to watch, and that's going to be senior Patrick Hall. Tell us a little bit about Patrick. You've got a pretty good relationship with Patrick being a former player.
Yes, sir. I love Mr. Patrick Hall. He has been SAGU's silent assassin. You know, this season he has 18 receptions for 156 yards, and on paper that doesn't look too impressive, but his stats, let me tell you something. Each one of his receptions were in either a must-need 1st down or a must-need touchdown situation. And the biggest thing I have to say about Patrick Hall,
an interception is dropped inside the 5-yard line. Sorry, man, we had to take a break there.
They caught my eyes as well. But the biggest thing, last thing I have to say about Patrick Hall is, this is a senior who has weathered the storm both on and off the field. And I just believe his character and his grit just can be a symbol of hope for this SAGU's team whose their expectations haven't met reality.
And, of course, Patrick Hall wearing number 14. We saw him with a Hail Mary reception for a touchdown to end the half a couple of weeks ago. And we'll see him step off the field here on third down as Brylan Watson's previous pass attempt, or his first pass attempt rather, almost intercepted inside the 5-yard line. But fortunately for SAGU, it was dropped. Now Watson comes out, sends a man in motion, and he is going to hand it off on third down, trying to bounce it to the outside. And he gets tripped up after a gain of 3. That's a good open field tackle as they were trying to get Gabe Sanders out in space. And typically there, if we see a play run like that, it's going to be Bledsoe because Sanders is a tank at the running back position.
Exactly. I just have to give props to number 42 for Langston, their safety, Malcolm Johnson. He came down and fit his gap perfectly and made a sure tackle, and that's very hard to do in the open field.
And speaking as a former safety, you
yes.
are, Matt. Here is TH on for the field goal, looking to get the first points on the day for the Lions. The snap is down, the kick is up, and it's blocked. Langston has it in the open field. He picks it up, and he cannot recover it, and it's still live in past the 30, and SAGU just falls on it, but that is going to be, there is a flag that comes out late there. It looks like a late hit, and it could be on SAGU.
And that's something that you really can't have happen, especially with TH, because he has a good leg. And Langston's defensive line, they got pressure back there very quickly.
It was going to be a 45-yard field goal attempt, which was going to be kind of relatively close to TH's career long. So we wait the call.
Field goal is no good. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness against SAGU, number 62. Penalty being forced, half the distance to the goal. First down, Langston.
Hiram Lawrence with a little frustration penalty there at the end of the play. Fortunately for him, it wasn't a unsportsmanlike conduct. It happened during the play or right there at the end. And you see TH's kick, it actually gets blocked pretty deep by a man who's right at the line of scrimmage. It looks like it just came off low off his foot, and then the ball was live forever. And either way, it's just better field position for Langston. And now they've got the ball set up inside the 15-yard line, or at the 15-yard line, rather.
And yet again, they're set up in 4-down territory.
And here comes Langston. He's got 2 men in the backfield with him. It looks like it's going to be Whitfield, and then thankfully, looks like he's okay. It's going to be Handy Jr. Cooper takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Whitfield. Whitfield looking for some room, but that SAGU run defense still very good. Drake Rodriguez cleaning up after Jordan Coleman made the initial contact for a loss of, we're going to call it a loss of 3.
SAGU's defensive line, the backside, because they ran it to the weak side there, their backside defensive linemen do a great job of scraping across the line of scrimmage and not initially taking a bad angle. That's very disciplined played by the defensive line.
2nd and 13. Cooper with Whitfield in the backfield with him. One tight end set, sends a man in motion. He's going to fake the handoff, hand it off to Whitfield. Whitfield up the middle. He gets met, and then he drags a couple of defenders with him. He's going to get about 5 and get some of that yardage back that was lost on first down. Makes it 3rd and 8.
One stat that I'm curious that it probably became prominent here within the past 3 to 5 years is yard after contact for a lot of running backs, because he got touched as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage. However, he was able to muscle his way for a couple yards.
He comes in at 5'11", 220. So he is himself a tank in the backfield. So here comes Jordan Cooper, 5 wide again. They like this formation. If they can get him time, he's dangerous in the pocket. He's back to pass. SAGU brings 4 off the back foot across the middle, and it's caught for a touchdown. First points on the board for Langston, as he found his man across the middle in front of the safeties. Cameron Mims, who we saw earlier, fumbled the ball that went out of bounds. Either way, a good pass off that back foot, just gets it in there.
Yeah, that was a laser by a freshman quarterback, and like you just said, right before the snap, you give him seconds to read the defense and go through his progressions. He's going to make a pretty accurate pass, and there he did.
And here comes Langston on for the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good off the fit of Connor Robles. And Langston now up 7-0. Here with 10 minutes left in the first quarter, SAGU looked to be threatening after that interception. There we see a Sooner Athletic Conference score update. Wayland Baptist with the win over Oklahoma Panhandle State. Again, in that Sooner Athletic Conference. At Langston and SAGU both playing, and then Arizona Christian in a shootout over Texas Wesleyan, 45-32. That looked like it was a fun game to watch. I love seeing those offensive performances. You probably hate it as a former defensive player, but I'm a fan of 45-32.
I take pride in a low-scoring game.
That was Jordan Cooper's third passing touchdown of the season. They've done a little bit of quarterback by committee, as SAGU has, and has not been very relevant in the passing game, has Langston, but there, a good strike on third down for the first score of the game. And again, Jordan Cooper, the freshman, looking like he's going to have a pretty decent career at Langston. He looks pretty good in that pocket. Doesn't look like a freshman. Composed and ran that offense as the kick is fielded at the 5-yard line by Jalen Moss. Now he gets past the 20 and brought down just before that 25-yard line. So Langston, the kicking unit, does a good job, and Jalen Moss, that is not a good sign. He is down on the ground clutching that knee, and that is not what you want to see. One of the premier defenders for SAGU, and he is not getting up.
Yeah, that's the starting safety. And I believe it may have been with how he got hit. He maybe have hyperextended his knee yet, but it looks like he hyperextended his knee just a little bit there.
And you see him immediately grab that left knee, and he still is down. So we'll see what it looks like if he can get up and walk off on his own power. But regardless, SAGU will have the ball at the 24-yard line after the good coverage job by Langston's kicking unit. Dropped that ball inside the 10-yard line, and Moss kind of had to fumble around with it. There you see another Sooner Athletic Conference score update. Texas College, the Steers, tied with Bethel 7-7. I like that. The Bethel Threshers. I like that name. That's a good name. 7-7 early in the first quarter, and then 8 o'clock start time tonight. That's a late game. The Lions Scots going on the road to play Ottawa of Arizona. The Spirit in Phoenix, 8 o'clock, and it's going to be, of course, a 7 o'clock game over in Arizona, or whatever they do. It's the weird daylight saving times in Arizona. Who knows what time it is in Arizona? So Jalen Moss is actually up and walking off on his own power, so that's a good sign that he is able to walk off the field. We'll give you an update as soon as we have it.
Offside. Kicking team, number 52. 5 yards, re-kick.
Maybe that's why the kick coverage was so good. I didn't even see the flag come out, but an offsides on the kickoff, not something you see a whole lot. So they're going to have to re-kick here. And now going back to return the kick for the Lions is going to be number 25, Darian Carter, a running back, along with Christian Cross, the young stud defensive back that the Lions have.
And this gives SAGU another opportunity to try to get pretty good field positioning off this kick return.
Robles kicks it off again. This one bounces at the 20. It's brought in by Carter. Carter looking to cut it upfield. And Carter's going to get brought down for worse field position than he initially had. He gets brought down at the 23. They were going to have the ball at the 24. But I mean, you have to take that shot there to try to get some better field position. But SAGU is going to take over 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. And there you see the number 1 team in the nation, the Morningside Mustangs, over the Doane Tigers, 42-10. So not exactly a tough game there for Morningside. They continue their dominance here in the NAIA in that Great Plains Athletic Conference. So here comes Brylan Watson, the sophomore, with 5 wide. We do see SAGU line up in this at a good amount, but he sends Michael Bledsoe in motion, fakes a handoff. He's going out to the flat. He's got his man, Brock Rago, and he's going to have enough for a first down. Good move after the catch there to kind of just get it towards that sideline and pick up a first down.
They know Langston's defense is going to be overtly aggressive, and I like the little misdirection that Smith implemented there with the fake handoff to Bledsoe, as you'll see here, and then immediate strike out to the flat for Rago.
And here come the Lions. They run no huddle. They are 5 wide again with a stack at the bottom of your screen. Sends Justin Allen and Mosen, who is back from injury. Watson steps up in the pocket. He's going to take off and run, and he lost his footing. That's going to be a gain of 2. It looked like he had a little bit of room to run, and he tried to break a move off there, but just kind of lost his footing.
And that's one thing you always have to be aware with Brylan. I know this guy personally, and he is very athletic, and I know he was chomping at the bit to be able to get in open space because he used to run track at Abilene Christian University. And so if he can get in open space, he's off to the races.
And here you see SAGU come out 3 wide with an H-back in front of him. Justin Allen comes out in the pistol formation, sends Hall in motion, fakes a handoff, makes a man miss. Here is Watson. He flicks it out, and Patrick Hall almost brings it in with one hand. The contact was there after the catch, and if he doesn't take that hit, that's a catch, and that's a beautiful catch.
That's a beautiful catch, and I'm not trying to fanboy too much on this offense right now, but I'm really enjoying the misdirections and the play action. You see there, he was overly aggressive, and Brylan there is just playing basketball on grass. He was waiting to see what the defender, if he's going to drop back in coverage or if he's going to come up.
Patrick Hall almost hauls it in. And this is an offense we haven't seen yet for the Lions this season. And when you're 0-7, why not come out and throw kind of this together against Langston? He's going to hand it off. Up the middle is Michael Bledsoe. Bledsoe on third down is going to get enough for the first. And SAGU moves the chains for the second time this drive. And I like that call on third down. You think they're going to come out and pass. Run it right up the middle.
Exactly. I like that Bledsoe. He didn't hesitate. He knew that the hole was going to be there for a glimpse. So he shot through there, north and south. I love north and south runners. I loved playing with J.P. Lowry, former SAGU great, because he was a north and south runner.
1st and 10, new set of downs here for the Lions. They come out 4 wide. They send Justin Allen in motion behind Watson. Watson's going to pitch it out to Allen. Allen is dangerous in open space, tries to make a man move, but then there's 2 more right behind him, and that's going to be a loss of 2 on first down.
Right there, the Langston defensive end sniffed that out, and then these DBs for Langston have very good play recognition skills. As soon as they see his run, they're flying up and they're filling their gaps.
SAGU comes out 2nd and 12, down 7-0. Just under 8 minutes left in the first quarter. 3 out wide to the left of Watson. Sends Patrick Hall in motion. Now it's 4 wide. He's going to dump it out in the backfield for Bledsoe, and he cannot bring it in. It was just a little bit in front of him, and he had some room to run there in the flats.
He did. That wasn't a perfect pass. However, it hit his hands, and I believe he should have caught that. And he had one defender about 6 to 7 yards off, and that gives him an opportunity to be out in space and, maybe have a little wiggle to him.
We saw that a couple of weeks ago in their last home game, that they were really kind of struggling catching the ball out of the backfield, were Sanders and Bledsoe, and it looks like that's still kind of plaguing them a little bit. 3rd and 13 now for the Lions. Watson, he's back to pass. He's got a clean pocket. He's going to go deep down the sideline looking for a go, and it's broken up. Good play there on 3rd down by the defensive back, Devin Duraceau.
I really believe if that would have been a back shoulder pass, that would have been very catchable. You see here, the DB is playing great. He's playing man. He's right in his hip pocket. He's not face guarding. He's playing the man, And I believe if it was a back shoulder pass, it would have been very good.
Seth Green on the punt for the Lions as they get a couple of first downs, and then the drive peters out, and they are forced to punt. Glenn Irons back to return for Langston. The punt is off, and it's a high end-over-end punt. Bounces at the 20, and it's going to take a good SAGU bounce inside the 10, and it will settle right at that 10-yard line. They're actually going to say that it's going to be at the 15. It was touched by a SAGU punt coverage, punt defender rather, and it's going to be down at the 16. So a little bit better field position for Langston. That's kind of a tough break for SAGU as it bounces off a Lion or a SAGU player. I have to be careful with these Lions versus Lions references.
And defensively, if SAGU can come out and get a takeaway right here in the red zone, in their own territory, I think that'd be very advantageous to try to get a score on the board early.
Cooper with Whitfield in the backfield. He comes out with 3 out wide to his right and 1 to his left. 1st and 10 at the 16. Sends a man in motion. He's going to hand it off, looking to get it around the outside. Here's a flag. SAGU brings him down for a gain of 1. Another good job by the Lions defense to sniff out the run play as we await the call on the field.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Makes first down.
So offsides against SAGU is going to give Langston a free 5 yards.
And it was a great job by Gus Wright keeping outside containment and forcing it right back inside, giving both the defensive line and then middle linebacker Landon Jones time to get across the field. But that flag really shot them in the foot.
I think they got Noah Gibson, the freshman, on offsides there on the far end of that defensive line, number 55. So 1st and 5 now for Langston as they send everybody in motion. Keith Tracy in motion, the tight end. He's going to hand it off to Whitfield. Whitfield looking to get it up out the outside off the tackle. He's going to be brought down for a short gain. And it looks like it's going to be second and I'm going to call it second and maybe a long 3 after a gain of 2.
This SAGU front 7 is playing phenomenal right now. They're forcing everything outside and what defensively we'd say spill the play, spill it outside, make them run to the sideline, and use that sideline as an extra defender, and you saw it there.
And defensively, that hasn't been the problem for SAGU this season. They've just been on the field way, way too much. The offense really has not been able to get clicking, and when the defense is out there for an extraordinary amount of time, it's hard to keep points off the board in that situation. Here's Whitfield over the left side. Now he's past the 40, up past the 50, down the sideline. He's brought down by the last man to beat. That's Jeff Laverin, who's got an interception today, bringing down Whitfield. And there we see the first big run of the day for their big stud running back.
And you see initial contact there by Trey August, a defensive lineman, and he just wasn't able to wrap him up. And you know, with a big guy like Whitfield, it's hard to grab him up top because it's like trying to put your arms around a bear.
Whitfield came into today with needing 69 yards rather for 1,000 for the season. That's going to take a big chunk out of it on that carry. Cooper with a first down, sends a man in motion. He's going to hand it off, trying to get it around the outside, and there's a lot of Lions there, and they finally bring him down after a couple of misses. That's going to be a loss of 5 as he handed it off to Glenn Irons.
Yeah, SAGU's pursuit, backside pursuit, especially the backside defensive backs like the backside corner, backside safety. You see them staying at home, playing it slow because Langston, one thing that they love to do is they know they have athletes, they know they have speed and quickness, is that they'll push you all to one side and then try to cut it back real quick. But that's where discipline comes into play, and SAGU was able to capitalize on that.
Cooper comes out with 3 out wide to his left with a man in the backfield. There's going to be Toma King checking in for the first time today. And Cooper's going to keep it himself, makes a man miss, trying to take it up the middle, and he's brought down back at the original line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 3rd and 10. Noah Gibson was there initially, and he forced Cooper back up inside.
Yeah, that was a good quick stick there. That was a great play by a freshman staying at home, and then a big finishing hit by Bryce Bailey there.
He didn't make the tackle, but he forced him to go where the other line defenders
were. Exactly, and that's one thing that a lot of people, that's something you won't see on a stat sheet.
Right.
But it also helps because you're forcing everything back inside to where your help is.
3rd and 10. Looking, Langston comes out in 5 wide, 3 out wide to the right, 2 to the left. And here is Cooper. 3rd and 10. He takes a snap. He's back to pass, going out to the flat. It's brought in by Irons. Irons trying to cut it back up into the middle of the field, but he steps out of bounds, and it's going to be 4th down. And I am not seeing the sideline shuffle at all for Langston.
And then once again there, you're seeing a little soft coverage by this SAGU defense. And with this quickness, you know, that's still a pretty far throw, but the quarterback was able to sling it out there very quickly and get it into their skilled players' hands. And that's one thing that Langston's really trying to do, is get it in their talented players' hands as much as possible and let them, you know, just do what athletes do.
Cooper comes back out with Whitfield in the backfield. It's going to be 4th and 3. Can the SAGU defense get off the field? They shift to a pistol formation. Since Tracy in motion, here's a snap. They're going to hand it off to Whitfield. Whitfield looking upfield. Whitfield keeping the feet moving. I don't think he got there, and he didn't. He's 2 yards short, and SAGU takes over on downs. Big stop there to get the offense back on the field.
That's a big stand there. There was nothing but penetration by this SAGU defensive line, as well the linebackers came and filled their gaps, and you see some DBs coming in to clean up the work.
So SAGU's offense comes back onto the field. Can they get something going here? This is Brylan Watson, the young sophomore, out on offense, and he comes right out to 5 wide.
I believe that this is a moment that they can define this game right here, is right after a big stop on 4th down, they go down and put points on the scoreboard.
Here's Watson. Back to pass. They bring pressure. He gets it out to Dotson. Dotson throws a stiff arm. He's going to duck out of bounds after a gain of 9 on first down. Good pickup.
That was great recognition by Bryant Dotson, understanding that the corner playing him was 10 yards off. And if you're going to play 10 yards off, then I'll throw a hitch 6 times in a row if I have to.
Absolutely. So it's going to be a second and short here. Watson comes back out 5 wide. Sends a man in motion. That's Bledsoe. Brings him in the backfield. And he's going to hand it off to Bledsoe. Bledsoe cutting it to the outside, cuts it back up, and it looks like he's going to have enough for the first down, and he does. He gets it up past that 45-yard line, and the SAGU Lions move the chains.
You know, I talked about earlier yards after contact, but even the subtle things as falling forward can make all the difference. And you see there he fell forward and was able to get it past the first down marker.
So the Lions with a new set of downs. They stay in this 5-wide formation. They like this. If they can get Watson some time, he can create something with his arm, and then even if he can't, if there's nothing open with that running game, he's back to pass. He pumps. He fades back, and he's going to go down. And that's going to be a huge loss on first down on the sack by the Langston defense. And we see slow to get up is going to be number 90, Justin Wade, who is going to get credited with at least half a sack there.
And right there you see Brylan, he's going through his progressions. He thinks he sees something, and he's going to make something to his legs. And I think that's just the inexperience, he's had injuries this season to where he's missed a couple games, and he hasn't had a lot of reps and mental reps. And that's where the backside defensive lineman was able to.
Patro Howard, number 50, also getting credit for half a sack there. It's going to be 2nd and 21 after the big loss on first down, after they had just gotten the chains, or a new set of downs rather, and he's out here in 5 wide again. And then a whistle, I believe it's going to be a timeout for SAGU.
Prior to the snap, timeout, SAGU, first charge of the first half.
Coach Smith wants to get something figured out here on 2nd and 21 because it is a long 21, especially for an offense that really hasn't been able to really get anything going. Not just Sniper this season, just really has kind of been stagnant, has not been able to put together solid drives. As we have a score update. Wow, 70-0. That's got to be a typo.
That has to be a typo.
There we go. We just had to have I was going to say, that's the upset of a century if Graceland upsets the number 4 team in the nation, Grandview. That's a little bit more like it. 70-0.
70 points.
Over the Yellow Jackets. And there we see Kansas Wesleyan, the number 3 team in the nation, beating the McPherson Bulldogs 48-14 in that Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference.
Kansas Wesleyan has been on the rise the past couple years.
And it's paying off. Sitting there in the top 5. Yep. Absolutely. So here is Watson, 2nd and 21 after that sack on first down. 5 wide, he sends a man in motion. Going to fake the handoff. And he looks to get it to the flat, and he does. He finds Dotson, who's hit immediately and brought down. Good coverage, good tackle there by the corner on the outside for Langston, Justin Herbert. Not the quarterback from Oregon. I saw you look at me.
Yeah.
He's not pulling double duty.
That'd be a heck of a feat, if so.
3rd and 16 for this SAGU offense, and they stick to this 5-wide formation with Brylan Watson. Langston brings 3. Watson, he's going to take a shot deep downfield, and it's going to be overthrown over everybody. He was looking for Bryant Dotson, and he's double covered and just kind of overthrew everyone, and that's going to bring out the punting unit for SAGU and Seth Green.
Yeah, and you see SAGU for the past couple plays were in an empty set, meaning they have 5 receivers out. And they had some success when they were in a 10 personnel when they had 4 receivers out and 1 running back, so they could have those misdirections, so they're keeping the defense honest. They didn't know if they were going to run the football or they're going to pass it. But when you're in an empty set, the defense knows pretty much what you're going to do.
There's not really any secrets, but you almost don't have a choice on 3rd and 16.
Yep.
But coming out an entire series in 5 wide, it's a little head scratcher. The punt is going to be fielded after a fair catch is called for out past the 30 at the 32, and that's where Langston will come out on offense. And the SAGU defense, they've been up to the fight so far today. Langston's offense is very high-powered. They score a lot of points on people. But SAGU's defense, they're holding their own right now. The only touchdown scored in the game came off a turnover on the SAGU side, and it was returned, or rather a turnover, I would say a block kicked, was brought back and had very good field position. But overall, when Langston's had to try to drive down the length of the field, the SAGU defense has been very good. Here on first down, Cooper is going to hand it off to Whitfield. Whitfield trying to follow his blockers, and there it is again. The SAGU, they said that front four for SAGU has been very good today.
Yeah, that upfield defensive end, I can't see the number. It's Jordan Coleman. What he does there is he cuts that initial lead block, and that just creates, traffic in the backfield. And you saw there Whitfield, I almost said Whitfield, had to put his hand on the back of his other blocker, and then that just allowed time for the linebackers and the fellow defensive linemen to get there and bring them down.
It says 2nd and 9 here in the stadium, but that is a long 9. That's going to 9 3/4. It's going to be 2nd and 10 essentially for Cooper. And he is going to hand it, or he's going to fake the handoff, look towards the middle of the field, broken up, almost intercepted. Jeff Lavrin almost came away with the second of the game, but what coverage there on 2nd down from Lavrin.
Yeah, he was.
That time looking for number 17, Trayvon Billington.
Yeah, Billington ran a slant route, and that's something that, that's a high percentage route against a man coverage. And there, Lavrin was just there to be able to stay in the hip pocket, play through the receiver's hands, and then almost had a one-handed interception.
3rd and 10 here for Langston. Sends a man in motion. Cooper's back to pass. It's a screen. SAGU almost gets there. He's got a load of blockers in front of him. He gets brought down short of that first down marker. It's going to be 4th and 1.
That was a great open field tackle by Christian Cross. And you saw the floodgates open. And so there we were just seeing defensive line in chase mode. But for Christian Cross, who I'm assuming weighs around $180, $175, with the full head of steam, he didn't hesitate. Former safety myself, I love seeing that. I love seeing him. He loved the collision. And as a guy who used to play, that was one of my favorite things is, I loved contact. And to see him come downhill with a head full of steam, it warms my heart up here in this cold booth.
Our roster says 200, but I think that might be given a few.
Yep.
So as the first quarter comes to an end, the SAGU Lions trail 7-0, but overall the defense has been pretty good, definitely up to the fight so far today, as Langston, they've only got a few first downs, and that one touchdown came off a blocked field goal, which set them up in wonderful field position. Essentially, it was at the 15-yard line, so it was inside the red zone of the Lions.
And this is something that we'll start to see is the defense is playing well, and we're coming into the second quarter, and we're going to see how fatigue affects, the longer the defense stays on the field. And that's why it's a necessity the SAGU's offense, keeps time of possession, slow methodically down the field, tighten up the penalties so they can give their defense a break.
And like you said, SAGU did win the time of possession battle. They're actually going to give Langston a first down. It looked like he was short, but they gave him a first down. Generous spot there. So 1st and 10 here for Langston. Cooper with Whitfield in the backfield. And he's going to fake the handoff, taking himself up the middle, and he gets brought down as he was going by. Defensive lineman looked like he just got a paw out there and brought him down.
How strong you have to be to stop a human being with one arm.
Marcus Rodriguez, and he's a stud. He is. Yeah. He is strong. You got to be able to do that. 2nd and 9 here for Langston. While being blocked, like just reach that left hand out there. So Cooper, Whitfield in the backfield in the pistol formation. 3 out wide to the left. 2nd and 9. Cooper. He's going to hand it off to Whitfield. Whitfield up the middle, and he's got room to run. And when he's in that open field, he's tough to bring down. He's got a lot of yardage there on 2nd down and enough for the first. And he looks like Cooper, a little bit of option there. He handed that off late.
Yeah, that's a way to hold your water and stand in the pocket. The read option there, and then you see Whitfield. He knows he's in the DFW, paying a little homage To Ezekiel Elliott 20 minutes down the road for the Dallas Cowboys.
1st and 10 for the Langston Lions. Two men in the backfield. He sends them in motion. Tracy, the tight end, goes in motion. Bobbles the handoff, and he gets hit, but he gets the throw off, and then he breaks a tackle down past the 20, inside the 15. I'm not sure how Cooper got that pass off in the flats. Looks like he bobbled the play-action handoff exchange and then gets blasted as he lets it go.
There was a little bobble there, and then he just slings it out to the sideline as Crisscross closes in. And number 82 for Langston.
Mims, he's had a good game so far. It's his 3rd reception.
Yeah, Mims was able to stop on a dime and grab another 10 to 12 yards.
Whitfield still in the backfield with Cooper. Just needs 9 yards to break that 1,000-yard mark for the season. Does Tim Whitfield. 1st and 10 from the 11. Langston can still get a first down. Cooper's going to keep it himself. Spins out to the right. What a move. Cuts it back up and gets brought down after a gain of, they're going to call it a gain of 2. That was a great move.
That was a move you'd see on a video game there. And you're seeing this inverted veer by Langston. And this is a freshman quarterback making plays with his feet as well as having great reads.
2nd and 8 from the 9-yard line. Langston set up pretty nicely here as they can still get a first down here inside the 10-yard line. 3 out wide to the left of Cooper. Whitfield to his left in the backfield. He sends him in motion. He dumps it out to Whitfield. Whitfield can't bring it in. It's picked off. Jalen Moss. He's got no one to beat. Open field past the 50. Down to the 40, 30, 20, 10. And that is a touchdown. SAGU as a pick 6 off the hands of Tim Whitfield. Jalen Moss, that knee is looking just all right as he outruns everyone. And SAGU gets on the board via a defensive touchdown. You can see it. Whitfield goes up with one hand to try to bring it in. And you never want to try to do that as a receiver. Go up with one hand.
No, sir.
Bad things happen. And there we see Jalen Moss in position, outrunning everybody for the score. And the Lions, barring an extra point, could tie this game at 7-7. Romeo Balboa to hold. The snap is good, the hold is down, and the kick is up, and it is good. And we are knotted up at 7 apiece here with 12:07 left to go in the half. SAGU, lightning in a bottle on defense. I said they've been up to the fight, and there we see that Lions defense. They are scrappy.
And let's hope that this was the spark that this SAGU offense needed. Now it's back 0-0.
Northwestern, the Red Raiders, defeating Briar Cliff, the Chargers, 38-7 in that Great Plains Athletic Conference. A lot of good teams come out of that Great Plains Conference. There you see Cumberland beating Georgetown 14-7. That's the kind of score you like to see as a defensive
player. That's my kind of football.
in the Mid-South Conference, we have a lot of scoring updates as we got one of the later games here in the NAIA. And there we see Evangel, our sister school, SAGU's sister school that is, beating Missouri Valley 23-17 in the Heart of America Athletic Conference. As I'm sure we'll have some more scores for you later on in this game. Again, we got one of the later ones here across the nation. So a lot of people already got their feet up watching some other NCAA college football, here on this Saturday night as the Lions set off to kick here. Tied 7-7. Here's TH. As he boots it, it's going to be a short kick fielded at the 15. Trying to follow his blockers, and he spins off a tackle, and now he's got it past the 30, down past the 40, brought down out of bounds. Good job to keep the feet. That was Isaiah Shaputis.
That was great pursuit by the tackler. You'll see eventually Ethan Cook. But this is something here that as soon as you get your bear claws on them, you just hold on and wait for Calvary. That's something that SAGU has had problems with. I wouldn't even say problems. They don't struggle too much with that, but you see it at least once or twice a game, and that comes down to discipline.
So the second return for Langston is another good one. They had one to start the game, and now they've got good field position here inside or just past the 40-yard line. We'll call it the 42. Here's Cooper, 4 wide with a man in the backfield. And he's going to fake the handoff, get it out, and it's brought in, but then tackled. And there we see SAGU trying to sell out for another interception. Christian Cross. The pass was completed.
And that's a great read.
To Barry Handy Jr.
Cross.
Yeah, he stepped up, made the tackle.
Glad he made enough contact to put him down on a knee.
Cooper's lucky that ball wasn't a little bit slower, or Christian Cross could be looking for another pick six for this Lions defense. 3 out wide to the right of Cooper. He's got King in the backfield. He's going to hand it off to King. King up the middle, brought down quickly. Lions rushing defense pretty good. Still, so far, as we approach 11 minutes to play in this first half, they've been up to the task.
You see Trey August is getting double teamed, and that frees up the true freshman, number 55 for SAGU.
Noah Gibson.
And, he's kind of coming of age in this game today.
He's having a good game so far. Setting that edge, keeping contained. 5 wide here for Langston, 3rd and 8. And the Lions the SAGU Lions, that is, look to potentially get 2 stops here. We haven't seen the punting unit even step on the field for Langston. High snap, he brings it in, and that's a busted play. He's trying to make everyone miss, and he does not get around the edge. What a tackle there in the open field by Gus Wright. That was almost dangerous if he could have escaped that tackle.
Right there, he was a linebacker, and with that tackle, he was playing safety.
Good tackle, and for the first time tonight, we are going to see the punting unit step onto the field for Langston. Their punter is Connor Robles, or rather stepping back to punt right now for Langston is number 26, Devin Duraso. An interesting punting formation here. It looks like they've got 4 out wide to the left. Got to keep an eye out for the fake. And the lefty does boot it. Pretty good punt, too. He booms it down at the 10,
like
and it bounces
corner.
out of bounds. Wow, what a punt. What a punt there by Langston. And there you can see that Dallas skyline, the view from just outside Dallas here in Waxahachie, Texas, as the sun is setting and it gets a little bit chillier here in Waxahachie. That's just always nice to see. Nice you can see that skyline here from Waxahachie. It's a good 25 maybe minute drive to Dallas, but to be able to see that skyline is one of the many perks of this small town here in North Texas of Waxahachie. Gabe Sanders, the carry on first down. He gets hit, but then drags a couple of defenders for maybe another yard or 2. Pretty good run there on first down.
Yeah, that's the yards after contact again. That was a great initial contact by James Cox of Langston. That was a great initial contact, but he was able to just muscle his way forward for the extra 2 to 3 yards.
2nd and 7 here for SAGU. Sanders remains in the game at running back. 3 out wide to the left of Watson. And Bryant Dotson at the bottom of your screen. Watson's back to pass. He rolls out to his left. He's looking for somebody. He's going to complete the pass, and it's brought in. That's going to be Reggie who brings it in for a first down. They're going to actually mark him short as he tried to fight for a little bit. It looks like maybe the initial reception was a first down, but he took a couple of steps backwards. Yeah,
typically you'd have, what basketball says, continuation, that forward progression that it looks to see. And then, like you said, once he starts to try to fight for a yard, then he reestablishes, his positioning on the field.
3rd and 1. Sanders remains in the backfield. He is the big power back that the Lions have between him and Bledsoe. So we'll see if they try to feed him up the middle here. 3rd and short. Watson looking for a slant and is incomplete. Thrown behind Reggie, and he cannot complete the pass. And another Lion is down, clutching his knee, and that is not great.
Seems to be Justin Allen,
who is coming off an injury. That's not what you want to see. He's already got that left knee pretty taped up and braced up pretty tight with a high sock and everything. So it looks like he may have re-aggravated that left knee. We saw him go down with a couple of weeks ago, and SAGU will be forced to punt. here on 4th down. So 3 and out go the Lions.
And that's something that you hate to see for a senior who has been a backbone of this SAGU team and offense. And, you know, he's somebody with grit. He doesn't complain. Honestly, if you asked him to play defense, he'd play both offense and defense and wouldn't complain once about it.
We've seen him play quarterback. We've seen him play running back. We've seen him play receiver. He's returned kicks. He's really Mr. Do-It-All for this Lions team. Seth Green's punt is a high one, and it's going to be fielded at the 50 after a fair catch by Glenn Irons. And that's where Langston will take over. They'll call it the 49-yard line of the SAGU Lions. As we see another score update, St. Xavier over St. Ambrosi, 38-17 in the Mid-States Midwest League. And then Benedictine, they're always good too, over Mid-American Nazarene, 50-14 in that Heart of America Athletic Conference, where we see our sister school Evangel play in that same conference. Tim Whitfield in the backfield for Langston. He needs 9 yards to eclipse 1,000 for the season. We'll see if he can get that this drive. Pretty good milestone to hit as a running back at any level. You want to see that 1,000-yard mark. Cooper, 4 wide, takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Whitfield. Whitfield gets 1, and he's going to keep the pile moving, but the whistle comes in after a 1-yard gain by Whitfield. Maybe a little early of a whistle there, as he wasn't quite down yet. It was a pile, but he kept his feet and kept moving. That's
that was
a quick
great
whistle.
fill by Landon Jones there, stalemating them there.
2nd and 9 here for Langston. 7-all here in Waxahachie between the Langston Lions and the SAGU Lions. A very competitive game here. Again, SAGU coming into today winless, and Langston fighting for a playoff berth. Whitfield cuts it upfield, and then he gets brought down quickly after no gain. This Lions rushing defense has been phenomenal so far in this first half. There's been a couple of runs by Whitfield that have gone for 33 and then maybe 25 earlier, but overall, he's not really been able to find much rushing room.
Yeah, Marcus Rodriguez again. He's a senior. He's just a force up front. He's a freak of nature.
3rd and 9 here at midfield. Call it the 48-yard line. Cooper with 2 men in the backfield. We've seen them send motion out of this formation all night, and they do it again. Here's Tracy, moves up to the H-back. Whitfield to the left. He sends Tracy in motion. Cooper takes the handoff. He's rolling out to his left now, dumping it off, and incomplete on 3rd down. And he had some pressure in his face that allowed him to not be able to complete that pass.
You see a little Andy Reid vibes there. They have a lot of audible, and then he sits there and acts like he's going to block you for a good 2 count, and then he goes out in the flat to where, you know, the defender thought they were blocking, so they decided to rush.
So we see the punting unit come onto the field again for Langston. Durisso to punt. We saw him with a good one, landed inside the 10. The lefty booms it again, looking to get it to that corner. Hits at the 22 and takes another good bounce inside that 10-yard line, stopped at the 8. So Durisso comes in and does a great job punting the ball. Something we did not expect to see a whole lot tonight was Langston punting and in back-to-back possessions.
And this just gives SAGU another opportunity to go ahead. You know, that's something that not everybody would think that we'd be talking about right now. And defense have held their own. They've created turnovers. They've got a score on the board. And now offense gets to share their part.
Here is Watson. 6.5 minutes left to play in the half. Watson from the 8-yard line drops the snap, and it's recovered by Langston. And that is not what you want to see if you're a SAGU fan. The miscommunication on the snap, and a flag comes in at the end of the play, and they might get Langston for some celebration. But that just takes the breath right out of you, as he cannot handle the snap, and Langston will have the ball set up inside the 5-yard line. And we'll see what the penalty is. Unfortunate break for the Lions as the fumble comes. And there you see Watson just wasn't either wasn't ready for it, or he kind of got crossed up with his man in motion. That was Derek Shelby. But Langston is taking over with a fantastic field position here. A fumble on an actual play you can live with. You don't want to see it, you can live with it, but a fumble on a snap. We've seen them have issues the last couple of weeks with the snap and that shotgun as we await the call.
The result of the play is a fumble recovered by the defense. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, Langston, that 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the dead ball spot. First down, Langston.
We didn't see who the penalty was on. It looked like a coach or an assistant coach came out onto the field to celebrate with the Langston defense, and I think that's what they flagged them on. But as I was saying, the SAGU Lions the last couple of weeks, they've had issues in the snapping game. Either the snaps have been on the ground over the quarterback's head. We've even seen the snaps be too slow getting to the quarterback, which allows that defense to almost get instant penetration. And there we see the snap to the right of Watson, who wasn't ready for it, and that's going to set up Langston in phenomenal field position. We'll see if the SAGU defense is up to the test again. And they have to be. They got the ball at the 20-yard line. Cooper hands it off to Whitfield. Whitfield running through some tackles, and that's a pretty good carry on first down. He's going to get 3. Take it out to the 23-yard line.
And they're really starting to get out of these off-tackle runs, and that was a great job by Kobe Roach there. That's a stat that won't go down on the stat book, but he forced it back inside and gave his linebackers a chance to come make a play on the football.
2nd and 7 here for Langston, under 6 minutes to play in the first half. Cooper. Whitfield behind him. He takes a snap. He's going to turn around and hand it off to Whitfield again. Whitfield cuts it upfield and carries some defenders with him. And he's got it just in front of that first down marker. It's going to be 3rd and maybe 2.5 yards here.
And that's off tackle again, and he fits right there in that gap. And he just bulldozes his way for an extra 4 yards.
That's the power of the 220-pound running back for Langston. 3rd and short here from the 12-yard line after a SAGU fumble and turnover. Langston had the ball essentially right at that red zone mark. And here is Cooper. Takes a snap. He bobbles the snap. He's got to pick it up, and he runs forward with it. And it looks like he's going to be brought down shy of that first down. See, Langston there bobbles the snap much like the SAGU offense did, but fortunately for them, Cooper's able to pick it up quickly and actually gain some yardage on it. It's a no gain, but it could have been a loss of 3.
Yeah, it looked like the quarterback just got a little ahead of himself. He was ready to hand it off before he caught the ball.
Langston is 0-1, 0 for 1 on 4th downs today. SAGU's gotten a stop before. Oh, but they're going to line up for the field goal, rather. It's going to be Robles on to kick to try to go up 10-7. High snap, but it's down, and the kick is good, and Langston will go up 10-7. High snap, but a good job there of Irons to take the high snap and place it down for Robles, who gets it up, and it looked like it was kind of a lollipop kick there. It hung in the air for a lot longer than I thought it would. But Langston goes up 10-7 with 4:11 to play here in the half. We have another score update for you. Marion up 20-0 over Taylor right now in the Mid-States Football Association. So another game that is in progress. Nice night game on Saturday night. And there we see the final. Indiana Wesleyan, big win for them as they upset Siena Heights. Indiana Wesleyan, who's receiving votes, looks to jump into that top 25. And that's going to help. That's not going to hurt your case. An upset over the 14th team. So as Langston gets prepared to kick it off here with 4:11 left to go in this first half, the SAGU offense has not been fantastic this game. The defense has been what's keeping SAGU in this game. You'd like to see them travel or go down the field here and try to put some points on the board before the half, but they just have not been able to put anything together.
It'd be great for them to go down and score before the half because they get the ball after halftime. So right then you could think of 2 possessions without Langston being able to touch the football.
Cuts it up the middle. Christian Cross. He gets it past the 40, past midfield. He's got no one to beat. There are no flags on the play. Christian Cross is going to take it all the way for a touchdown. And if the offense can't get it done, why not get it done on special teams? And the Lions go up 13-10, barring an extra point. What a play. The kickoff return from Christian Cross. And boy, man, he turned on those jets.
He turned on the jets. He went straight from 2nd gear to 10th gear. And that's a defensive player as well. So this defense is really playing very well tonight. And they put now about to be 14 points up on the board.
TH on for the extra point. 3:57 left in the half. Romeo Balboa to hold. Snap is good, hold is down, and the kick is up, and it is good. SAGU will go up 14-10 here after the kickoff return for a touchdown by Christian Cross. Wow, splash plays give SAGU the lead. They've got a pick 6 from Jalen Moss, and then a kick return for a touchdown by Christian Cross. How about this, Matt? The total number of yardage for the SAGU offense, 43. They've got 2 interceptions for 146 yards and 2 kickoff returns for 99 yards. So the offense vastly outgained by the defense and special teams in terms of total yardage gained.
Yep. If you want something right, do it yourself, and that's the attitude that the defense is taking on right now.
And there you see a live look in at our executive producer, John Cookman's alma mater, Southeastern University in Florida, leading Weber International 19-7 in the second quarter. That kicked off just about the same time as we did. Of course, Southeastern wearing that black, the Southeastern Fire. So SAGU, exciting plays, have them up 14-10 here in the second quarter. And Langston, not sure they were ready for this. This is kind of a punch in the mouth for the Langston team.
It's definitely a wake-up call, especially when you're trying to receive votes. So you're trying to put up a lot of points in this game, and this defense has really, really hit them in the mouth. They've only scored 10 points, and it's 4 minutes left in the first half, and that's something that Langston's not used to.
On that last drive, Tim Whitfield did hit 1,000 yards. He's at 1,000 yards even on the season with his 69 yards here in the first half.
And like you said, that's a great feat by any running back at any level, because if you think, we're not OU, Oklahoma University, so we play 10 games, and so that's just an average.
Absolutely.
Do the math of 100 yards. And anytime you could rush for at least one person at 100 yards per game, that definitely opens up.
He came into tonight. He came into tonight with 133 yards a game, so he's definitely lighting up the stat sheet. Cooper hands it off to Whitfield. He takes it around the edge, and a good tackle there on the outside by Bryce Bailey.
That's a good job keeping his outside arm and leg free, because he's a contained guy outside of Gus Wright. The Gus Wright got log blocked there, but he was able to keep his outside arm and leg free, so Whitfield wasn't able to get up the sideline. 2nd and 4 here for Langston. They find themselves down 14-10, and they really haven't been able to do much on offense. Both of their scores have come from really good field position off a SAGU turnover and then a blocked field goal. As that run goes nowhere from Whitfield, it may be gain of half a yard. It's going to remain 4 yards, 3rd down. Yep, and that's true sophomore defensive tackle Keandre Belcher. And you see, they just try to send 2 guys on him right there, and he's just too strong and too big, and he just button separates and is able to take down Whitfield on the backfield.
Keandre Belcher comes in at just shy of 300 pounds, and he showed it there. He's a beast there in the middle. 3rd and 4. Cooper comes out 5 wide, empty backfield. The crowd coming alive here in Waxahachie. Looks to complete it out to his right, and it's over the head of the intended receiver, Michael Colston. And that's going to bring up 4th down here. And we see the punting unit come out again for Langston.
And this is a great opportunity. SAGU just had a 3-and-out. They're about to punt the football. Offense is about to get the ball back. Offense has a great opportunity to set the tempo going into the second half. They have just about 2.5 minutes left in the game. They can get a good drive, go down, even get a field goal would be nice just for this offense to get some sort of rhythm going.
Well, if the 2 scores for the Lions are any indicator, why not just take the punt back for a touchdown? Here's Durisso's punt. It's a high one. And fair catch and called for and brought in at the 35-yard line by Jalen Moss, who himself, he's got a pick-6 touchdown today for the Lions. So SAGU comes out on offense with a lead with 2.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Like you said, they're in pretty good position here to go down and score, and they get the ball back in the second half. And we see another top 25 update. St. Francis and Indiana beats Lawrence Tech 59-20 in that Mid-States Football Association. And then Montana Tech going over the Southern Oregon Raiders 28-14 in the Frontier Conference. So here is Watson. He's got Sanders in the backfield. He's going to turn around and just hand it to Sanders. Sanders tried to bounce it to the outside, but that's a really good play there by Durisso, who just punted the ball. Makes an open field tackle.
He's able to punt the football. He's able to scream in his gap and make a play. And you see it there. He gets a -2 all right. -1 yard, so he gets a 1-yard tackle for loss there.
2nd and 11 here for the Lions offense, and they're letting the seconds tick off the clock here. I think they're going to be content to try to eat some time and try to not let Langston have a lot of time to get something going on offense to end the half. We'll see here. Here's Watson. Takes a snap, fakes a handoff. He's back to pass. He's looking deep for Dotson. Brian Dotson one-on-one tries to bring it in. A lot of contact, and it's going to draw a flag. And they're going to catch Quante Hayden with a pass interference on Brian Dotson.
There was a lot of contact there, and the thing is that when you're in a hit pocket.
Defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
When you're in the hip pocket of a receiver, you cannot face guard. If you're face guarding, then you cannot have any type of contact. It would have been a different story if he'd have been turned around playing the football. If both of them would have been playing the football, then they're allowed a little bit more contact. But since he was face guarding and he was playing the player rather than the ball, then that's where the flag came from.
We saw it's a 15-yard penalty. We saw the offensive huddle line up like it was a spot foul. This isn't the NFL. It's only a 15-yard penalty. They're getting ready to set up shop there at the 30-yard line. But no, they're going to get the ball at the 49-yard line here. 5 wide here for Watson. It was an automatic first down. Watson, he's fading back, and he's going to get brought down, and that's something you can't do as the Lions need to try to get the ball down the field. But he goes down after a big loss, and he is not happy with his offensive line.
Yeah, and that's something that, you can't just put on the offensive line. You also have to understand that there's times you just have to take it on the chin and throw it away. You just have to take what you can get, not try to do too much to where you get sacked or to where you throw an interception or something of that nature.
Minute 20 left to go in the first half. SAGU can realistically, if they choose to do so, can take this all the way down because Langston doesn't look like they're using their timeouts yet. And now it's depending on what happens on this play on second down. But as we approach under a minute to play here in the first half, SAGU looks like they're going to take a timeout with 1:03 left.
Timeout, SAGU. Second charge of the first half.
So 1 minute and 3 seconds left here in the first half. SAGU takes a timeout. 2nd and 20 coming their way.
If I'm an offensive coordinator, take it with a grain of salt because I'm a defensive guy. But if I'm an offensive coordinator, right here is where I really try to implement the RPO that we saw that they started to have a little bit of success in the first quarter early on.
See, I go the other way. We haven't seen them do this so far this season. If they run a screen, they run it to the receivers. If I'm Coach Ryan Smith, I'm looking at Michael Bledsoe maybe out of the backfield on a screen play to try to catch Langston being overly aggressive. We'll see what happens here. They like to set up in that 5 wide formation. As we have an update, Marion, the number 2 team in the nation, leading Taylor 33-0. And there you see the live look in. And we're going to go ahead and update that to 34-0 as they just tacked on an extra point over there in Taylor. And on the road is Marion. So here comes SAGU. That looks like they are going to come out in 5 wide. So my prediction of a running back screen looks like it's not going to come to fruition as Watson lines up 3 to his right. He is back to pass. He pumps, and he's going to go down again. Another sack on second down. And Langston doesn't look like they're going to use their they are going to call a timeout. With 49 seconds left to go here in the first half. 3rd down and a mile
Third down for SAGU.
Timeout. Langston. First charge of the first half.
Third down in a...
Reset the game clock to 54 seconds.
So it looks like Langston did get the timeout in about 5 seconds earlier than we had thought. They did call for it immediately, but I don't think the official heard it. There's going to be 54 seconds left in the half. Third and very long coming here for the Lions. And now this is where you kind of have to look at maybe a draw play on 3rd and 26.
If they line up in 5 wide, I expect nothing less, and I wouldn't encourage anything else. But if so, you might just want to hand it off to Bledsoe.
Well, at this point, you want Langston to use that second timeout. You want them to go into a final possession here to end the half with as little timeouts as possible. So probably, I mean, I'm not an offensive coordinator, as we've mentioned, but you got to think that potentially they come out and try to run the ball. But as I'm saying that, they come out 5 wide again. So we'll see what they do here on 3rd and 26 at the 33-yard line. Watson in the shotgun. Langston backs off. They bring 3. Watson rolls out to his right. He's just going to complete it to Brock Rago. He does stay in bounds. Good job to stay in bounds and not try to get it to the sideline. And Langston is going to use that second timeout.
Timeout.
And that shows
second charge of the first half.
The IQ of Rago is that you didn't see him fight to get out of bounds. You saw him just go ahead and accept that and go down just so that clock can tick, causing Langston to call that timeout. So like you said, this final drive of the half, you know, they're going to have to do 50-second drill.
48 seconds left on the clock. And that's almost like an extension of a run play, what they did there. They rolled out to the right, quick, simple completion of the flats. You might as well just write it down as a handoff. But 48 seconds left here for Langston as Seth Green comes on the punt. Back to return is going to be Glenn Irons. And here is Green. He drops the snap and he just falls on it. And that is another worst-case scenario for this Lions team as Langston is going to set up shop here at the 30-yard line. The snap was good. It was closer to his knees. What didn't hit him in the chest like you'd like to see, but it's right there to get the punt off, and it just goes through the hands of Seth Green, and Langston catches another break as they look to put some more points on the board, down 14-10.
Just imagine if Langston hasn't been given 3 to 4 breaks as they have been.
Well, like you said, Langston, their points have come off good field position on a blocked field goal, a botched snap, and now another botched snap. They run a screen. They cut it back up towards the middle of the field, and he's brought down after a gain of, we'll call it 7.
That's a great job by Gus Wright. And Gus Wright's an unsung hero of this defense. You know,
Langston.
We don't call his name very often, but he does a lot of those plays on defense to where they don't go on a stat sheet, you know, keeping outside containment, you know, fighting through blocks, forcing everybody back inside, and they're coming up with a big, crucial tackle in the middle of the field.
Langston takes their 3rd timeout, and they didn't pick up the first down. That was completed to Barry Handy Jr., and he had a gain of 7. A reminder, the clock does stop on first downs until the ball is placed. So 38 seconds left to go here in the first half. On the 23-yard line, Langston finds themselves at a 2nd and 3. Cooper comes out 5 wide. Cooper in the shotgun. He takes the snap. He's back to pass. SAGU brings pressure. Almost brings him down, does Rodriguez. He completes it, and he gets out of bounds. That's going to stop the clock. A good job there by Cooper to break the tackle of Drake Rodriguez.
And Drake Rodriguez, he's a true freshman, and he's been impressing me all throughout this season. He just gets a good spin move on that offensive tackle and just barely misses the play on freshman quarterback right there.
That would have been a huge play for the SAGU defense. The clock would have kept going, and they would have taken them essentially almost out of field goal range. But here's Cooper on first down. 30 seconds left. He's back to pass. Looking in the flat, he's got a man, and he spins off a tackle, and he's inside the 5, brought down at the, we're going to call it the 2-yard line, and out of bounds. So the clock stops, and Langston has the ball down inside the 2 with 20 seconds left here in the half.
And this is what we see, a lot of sling tackling that we've seen today. You just have to knuckle up and hold on and wait for cavalry there.
And then the got a stoppage here.
I'm curious if they've spiked the football. Did they get the snap off?
The clock is stopped at 15 seconds, so it looks like they did spike it as he was brought down inbounds, they say. So 15 seconds left after the spike on first down makes it 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. So Cooper comes out 4 wide with Whitfield in the backfield with him. And it's going to be tough to stop a 220-pound running back from 2 yards out. We'll see what they decide to do on offense. Sends a man in motion, fakes the handoff, tries to take it up the middle. Cooper doesn't get there. There is a flag on the field, but the ball comes out. We don't know who has it yet. There's a scrum for it. And it looks like Langston is going to have possession of the ball, but the ball did come out there close to the end of that play. We did see a flag come in. So we'll see what the call on the field is. You saw the ball squirt out there. It was in the lap of Landon Jones. He had possession of it. Oh, he didn't have possession. I'm not sure he knew it was right there on his hip. But it ultimately gets recovered there by Langston. And we're awaiting the call on the field. A flag did come in rather quickly. You'll see it fly in from the back judge.
Was holding. You see it. Yeah, they slung Trey August forward. They got inside his shoulder pads.
And you see August calling for it, and it got called by that back judge. So this should be a loss of 10 for Langston. Waiting on the call.
Holding. Offense, number 75. That 10-yard penalty will be enforced. Clock will start on the ready.
So the clock will start here with 9 seconds left. Cooper's going to have to spike it, and he does. And it brings the clock down to 5 seconds. So 5 seconds left to go in the half. And Langston, it doesn't look like they're... And they will bring the field goal unit out. And Robles is going to come on to attempt a field goal to close the half here. It's going to be a 29-yard field goal from the left hash. The Lions trying to get the crowd into it. 5 seconds left. Robles on to kick. And SAGU jumps offside, so they are going to move the ball 5 yards more, or 5 yards closer.
Offsides, defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, remains third down.
Devontae Crownover gets called for the offsides, and you did see him jump there towards the middle of the line.
And that's why
Please reset the game clock to 5 seconds. 5 seconds on the game clock.
And that's why it's imperative that on a defensive line, if you're on the line of scrimmage, trying to get a rush in, that you're watching the football rather than listening to the cadence.
So this makes it a 24-yard field goal here for Robles from the left hash, and then a timeout by Coach Smith. Maybe trying to ice the kicker a bit or get something going here, maybe to try to get some penetration
Timeout
on that defensive line.
Third and final charge timeout.
That is their last timeout for SAGU. (14-10) the score here in Waxahachie. SAGU leads thanks to the help of a kick return for a touchdown from Christian Cross, and then a pick six by Jalen Moss. And Langston, their 10 points have come from very, very fortunate breaks and field position that have come their way. One off a blocked field goal and then one off a botched snap. Both times setting the ball up inside the 15-yard line, and now the field position for them comes off another botched snap on a punt attempt by Seth Green, and they got the ball inside that 30-yard line, and they're looking at trying to set up a field goal here with 5 seconds left. Glenn Irons to hold. Connor Robles to kick. Snap is good. The hold is down, and the kick is up, and it is good. And Langston is going to go into the half down 14-13. As the teams do head to the locker room, SAGU leads 14-13. And Matt, who saw this coming?
You and I didn't.
We did not. The SAGU Lions again coming into today winless, 0-7 on the season, and Langston, who is fighting for a playoff spot. They are a top 25 ranked team coming into today, ranked 22. So we thought they had to come out swinging, try to get the score as high as possible, get as many points, try to impress those voters, move within that top 20 to secure a potential playoff spot in the NAIA playoffs.
And that just goes to show this SAGU team, this season doesn't look like the expectations are reality. But they're continuing to chop away, They're not allowing these things to get them too down. They're showing up every Saturday and they're saying, hey, as long as we're stepping on the field, as long as we're competing, then we have an opportunity and a chance to come away with a win today.
We're going to go live to our sideline reporter, Riker Russell, who's with Coach Ryan Smith. Riker, what's Coach have to say about that first half?
Thanks, Adam. Coach Smith, what a game-changing second quarter for the Lions. At the beginning of the game, it looked like Jalen Moss was nursing a knee injury, but then he had an amazing pick that led to a touchdown. And then 5 minutes before the half ended, Christian Cross had a touchdown on special teams. So tell me what it's like having these two guys on your team.
They're dynamic players, but they're fighters. It has nothing to do with players. They're fighters. That's who they are. It's how they've been raised. It's a testament to their family, a testament to our program as a whole. They fight. All our guys are going to fight for the next 2 quarters.
You have the lead going into halftime. What are you going to tell the guys in the locker room to close this game out?
Keep fighting, one play at a time. That's all we've talked about all week. It's just one play at a time. Don't worry about the last one. Don't worry about the next one. Worry about the one that's happening right now. Infallible focus. Infallibility means you believe with everything in you that something good's about to happen. We have to have that every play.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you, Riker. Thank you, Coach Smith. Matt, we're in store for an exciting second half here. Don't go anywhere. We'll have the second half where SAGU receives the ball and some first half stats right here on the SAGU Sports Network.
At Southwestern, we endeavor to offer more than the average college curriculum, producing men and women whose lives are pleasing to God, and that's worth
This is a faith venture. We may yet face challenges, but I want you to know something. Ours is a worthy mission. It's a kingdom mission, and the Pentecostal church needs SAGU. Our Native American churches need SAGU AIC. Let's persevere to victory. May each of us maintain the reputation of one who knows their stuff. They expect us to be the best. May this institution always have that reputation. This institution deserves the best for me and you, because this is God's ministry and He deserves the best. The students that God has entrusted to me and you deserve our best, because we have accepted the responsibility of mentor and discipler. Our churches and parents of students deserve our best, because they've entrusted their children to us as stewards, many at great personal financial sacrifice. If we strive for and achieve excellence, then we will be rewarded with a harvest of students in the days to come. May we never forget that any combination of the most effective leadership traits that does not include spiritual character are temporal and will provide no enduring legacy. That is the one thing that is going to distinguish us and give us the ability to make a difference in the days to come. We desperately need God's presence. They need to see us model a spirit-filled life. Oh God, give us revival, and let it begin with me. Let it begin with you. We each need to pray that prayer. May God grant us the skill to develop a visionary plan that will bear much fruit for the kingdom of God. May we never lose the capacity to envision and believe for a big dream. As population increases, God will most certainly call more men and women to take the gospel around the world. Therefore, spirit-filled Pentecostal institutions are needed now more than ever. School districts, businesses, governmental roles, and all kinds of professions need even more godly men and women to fill positions with excellence as salt and light. And there's no better place to train marketplace ministers than right here. We need to get as many kids in these doors as we possibly can. It's God's will for us to rise up in faith. May your heart for God and personal faith increase. May your influence and favor with students rise to a level you've never experienced. May your families experience health and peace, and may your needs be met. May God miraculously provide for our campus. May God grant us creativity and wisdom and discernment and understanding and favor. Together, if we will work and give God the chance, we're going to see awesome things happen on this campus. Our best days are ahead of us.
learned the most from golf is to have integrity in everything you say and do.
One of the biggest lessons of that sports impacts my daily life is discipline.
Be a champion of character, it just means to realize first that you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Being a part of NAIA is something that I'm going to keep with me forever because it's not only made me a better athlete, but it's made me a better person.
The NAIA really just cares about their student athletes and just the experience in general at the school, and I think that that's really important.
The NAIA stands for, has great core values. One that's most important to me is servant leadership. Being able to serve your community is a huge reason why I chose the NAIA.
I am a champion of character.
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 Where online makes really good sense is when you're kind of not the typical, I just graduated from high school and I want to have a college experience.
I chose distance education because I was busy. I mean, I knew that our lives were kind of all over the place, everything that we were doing, and I wanted something that was flexible.
My degree at SAGU allowed me to still be a mom and an educator and get my degree online. I was able to tuck my kids into bed and get everything that I needed to get done, and while laundry was going, I was studying.
If you have any questions, certainly give me a call, shoot me an email, and I'll be glad to help any way I can.
We have an asynchronous program, so videos are going, students are accessing the course on their own schedule, which is a convenience of online education. So the online provides the way to get the academic credit that you need to advance your career path, advance your learning and your skills.
Well, a lot of what we were doing with our resident assistants was preparing them to teach their halls. And then, of course, I'd have the opportunity to teach as well. So I was training, but then I was also teaching the whole dorm. And so I found that a lot of the tools that I was getting from my classes was really helping me to prepare my RAs and to prepare myself to minister to our students.
My master's degree in education at SAGU allowed me to have a bigger influence on more than just students, but also educators. With the door that this degree opened, I was able to take this position that really didn't exist before I graduated, and I was able to move into that.
In SAGU's philosophy, we want to connect students with a faculty member that is curating the content, and they are providing the content we feel is important for that particular course the way that it is presented in SAGU's distinctive.
I loved the way that they would give you quality feedback. It's not just a grade, but I want to know what you think about my work.
My professor was fabulous, just was always there for me that entire semester, and I was able to graduate exactly when I expected to.
The fact is, there is no back row in an online classroom. You can't get in the back of the class. You're either online and engaged or you're not doing the work.
The number one thing is their passion for students. The customer service here, they're going to help you get across that finish line and do everything they can do to help you get there. This is a place where if you've already in your career, you know what you want to do, and you just need that extra skill set, you need that help to prepare you to be more successful, this is a very practical place to get your degree.
Honey, have you applied to that school yet?
Not really into purple.
SAGU. Never say no to a lion.
When a lot of people think of the NAIA, they think, oh, the talent level is less. The talent level is not as great. That is just not true. You know, there's some great athletes out here that maybe didn't have the size or the athletic ability to play at D1 or D2, but the talent level out here is tremendous. If I could give anybody advice or pitch that to anybody, I'd say give the NAIA a chance. It's a great place to play.
What we're looking for as students in the church leadership program and any of our vocational ministry programs is somebody who has a passion for Christ, a passion for people, somebody who has an element of seriousness, but they'll be transparent and be people of integrity.
I'm looking for students that are going to invest their lives in the life of a student that says, I know how tough adolescence can be.
This degree is tailor-made for that unique life, trying to help individuals really learn all that goes into the unique realities of church leadership.
What we've done is make this degree a great combination. They're able to pick and choose various ministry classes and really get a wide range, a well-rounded view of church life. It's like build your own degree if you feel the desire or the calling.
We're equipping students that if in 10 years they say, well, God's moving me out of youth ministry, out of children's ministry, well, they can become some other type of associate. They can go into pastoral ministry.
We're increasing the internship component that goes alongside this degree. And so, this gives a good potential. A student can be plugged into a single church for 3 semesters. They could be plugged into 3 different churches.
If it's children and family classes, then, for example, there's one called Creative Methods, ballooning, juggling, clowning, all of those kinds of things that we're going to cover. We also have a course called Issues in Childhood and Family Life. How do we do care for people who've gone through abuse and neglect and divorce and all the tough things that come in life, especially in the lives of kids?
I discovered that along with other things that I had been doing.
And in pastoral leadership, they're going to get courses such as ministerial ethics. They're going to get courses like pastoral leadership itself, but then they'll also pick up things like hermeneutics and systematic theology to go along with preaching courses and pastoral counseling courses.
They're going to be learning, some of the practices of ministry, certainly, how to communicate, how to lead a service, how to, develop ministry, but they're also going to learn a lot about dealing with people, things like how to help a church turn around one that's been struggling, or how to plant a new ministry.
Whenever I talk to freshmen, I say, don't think that you're purchasing a 4-year.
Welcome back to the SAGU Sports Network as we get ready for the second half. SAGU will receive to start this third quarter as Connor Robles is on to kick off for the Langston Lions. And an exciting first half there, Matt. If you're just joining us, 14-13, SAGU is leading, and Langston coming in as a number 22 team in the nation, and SAGU coming in winless. We didn't see this coming.
We didn't see this coming, but with them receiving this kickoff starting off the second half, is they're poised to set the tone for the second half and extend this lead that you see.
Robles kicks it off, and we are underway here in the second half. Ball bounces off the SAGU return man. That is Christian Cross, who's already got a return for a touchdown. He gets his ball out past the 30, down at the 32-yard line, and that's where the SAGU offense will take over. As you see the first half stats, on the SAGU side, offensively has just been abysmal. Negative 17 yards rushing, a couple of sacks in there really attributes to that. But the good news is their defense has just been very, very good against this Langston offense.
This SAGU defense has been suffocating. Langston really has only scored it because the debauchery that happened with SAGU's offense giving them the ball on the 15-yard line, the 25-yard line, and, anytime in their own territory. And that's what's really hurt this SAGU offense.
Busted play. Watson looked to try to hand it off to his running back, but he went the wrong direction. Watson just gives himself up for a loss of 2.5, we'll call it 3. It looked like that play was designed to go to the running back, but the running back went to Watson's left when Watson was looking to his right. I'm not sure who was at fault there, as you'll take a look at it there.
And it looked like if he had been able to hand off the football that there was a good 3 to 4 yard gain. And then right there, you just got to take it on the chin and accept what you can get.
2nd and 13 here now for the Lions. And realistically, Matt, as honest as possible, as blunt as possible, they have to do something on offense. They got to get something going if they want to continue to hold the lead in this game. There's Watson. He's going to fake the handoff, has a guy in his face, immediately completes it outside to number 84, who's got his first reception on the day. That is Caleb Johnson, the H-back, getting involved in the passing game.
And you see that was a pass right out to the flat. And it's good that it was a completion. However, he just got back to the line of scrimmage. They got to start looking downfield, looking for those positive yardage.
3rd and 12. They're actually going to give him 1 yard on the reception. I think that's a little generous. We'll see here. But it's 3rd and 12 here for the Lions, the SAGU Lions, that is. Langston looks like they might send some pressure here. And they do. They bring 5. Here's Watson. He's back to pass. He's going to go deep down the field looking for Dotson. Dotson can't bring it in. Double covered as the safety came over to help there at the tail end. And why not throw it up to your 6'4 receiver? This time it just falls incomplete.
And you see he went through his first progression, and then, he knows on that backside that Bryant Dotson is there. And then the safety for Langston was able to come over and also help aid in that defense of that pass, and they were able to break it up.
So 4th and 12 as the Lions bring out the punting unit. Seth Green, who the last time we saw him had a ball go through his hands, and Langston took the ball, or recovered the ball rather, on the SAGU 30-yard line, and we're able to put 3 points on the board before the half. Here's Green's punt. It is up, and it is a high punt. Fair catch called for and brought in at the 33-yard line, and that's where Langston will take over on offense.
And this SAGU defense is coming back out, and let's just hope that they don't miss a beat from that first half, because they've been playing lights out. They've created 2 turnovers, with around 130, 150 yards returning on those interceptions. And the defensive line has been monstrous up front, and they've been getting penetration on Langston's offensive line, and those linebackers have been filling their gaps very well and getting to the football, not allowing anything more than 2 to 3 yards.
Jordan Cooper, the freshman, remains in at quarterback, 3 out wide to his left with Whitfield to his left. He hands it off to Whitfield, and Whitfield this time drags a couple of defenders forward for maybe another 1.5 yards. That's going to be a gain of, we'll call it 3 on first down.
See, that's what I was just talking about. You see defensive end Jordan Coleman there able to scrape down the line of scrimmage and get contact on Whitfield. Linebackers cleaning up the tackle, not allowing more than 3 yards.
Whitfield lines up to the left of Cooper, where he's got 3 receivers out wide, 1 to his right. Here's Cooper on 2nd and 7. He's back to pass. Looking towards the middle of the field, and it's broken up just over the outstretched arm of Gus Wright, who looked like he was in pretty good position there to almost come away with a pick.
And Gus right there, that shows his IQ. He knows that the quarterback is looking out to the flat or looking out to his outside receiver, and he sees out his peripheral vision that he just got behind him, and he was moving back inside to a skinny post, and he was able to get back and get his hands in the passing lane.
Bryce Bailey on coverage did a good job too. He's been very good. The SAGU defensive backs as a whole has been very good this game. 5 wide here for Cooper. 3 to his left, 2 to his right. He's back to pass. Clean pocket, gets the pass off, and it's dropped. Almost completed. Would have had just enough for a first down. He was looking that time for his receiver, Handy Jr., and he just couldn't bring it in. Maybe heard some footsteps.
And that's a great route scheme right there that, they're playing a zone out there, and Kobe Roach knew that something was coming out in the flat, and that's his responsibility. So he went out there in the flat, and that allowed that number 2 receiver to work right in behind Kobe and right in front of Christian Cross. Luckily, Landon was there just to bring the eyes off the receiver for a little bit so he could get his eye off the football.
Ball was on the money, just through the hands of Handy Jr. Durisso gets the punt off. He's been pretty good in the punt game. It's brought in. It's going to be returned by Jalen Moss. Jalen Moss gets it up past the 40, and he fights for some yardage. He's going to be brought down at the 45-yard line, and pretty good field position here for the SAGU offense. If they're going to do something and put a drive together, you really want it to happen with good field position, and that's what they're looking at right now. As we go back to those first half stats, again, SAGU leading 14-13 has just been terrible in offense. Third down conversion is not great for SAGU. Looking to turn that around here in the second half. They are already 0 for 1 in the second half on third downs. As Watson remains in at quarterback, he's got 4 wide, 2 stacked to his left with Bledsoe in the backfield. Watson takes a snap, and it goes behind him. He falls on it, and again, another miscommunication, miscue, whatever you want to call it on the snap. It looked like it was to his right, and it looked like he was ready for it, but just a bit off-centered, and it goes through his hands.
And these are some minor things that they really need to clean up, because they're having very major implications and very major effects on this game, as we've seen. However, the great thing about sports is they can dust it off and go to the next play and then just, have a clear mind and get this drive going.
4 wide, both sides are stacked. Here's Watson. He's back to pass. He gets it off to Dotson. Dotson tries to spin off a defender, but he's brought down. Good open field tackle that time by the defensive back for Langston. That is Justin Herbert. Again, not the quarterback for Oregon. That's going to be a gain of 4. 3rd and 16 here for SAGU, and they are looking to avoid going 0 for 2 on third downs. So that would be 1 for 8 in the game if they do not convert here. But this is a tall task. 3rd and 16. Three out wide to his right. Here's Watson. He's back to pass. Looks into the flat. Steps up. He's going to let it go deep downfield, looking for Dotson, and it's overthrown by everybody. And Watson took a shot there right as he threw the ball from behind. And on comes the punting unit for SAGU.
And Watson sits there in the pocket, and he gets it off right before he gets hit. However, that wasn't a bad look. One-on-one with the 6'5" senior receiver, is very poised and isn't afraid to climb the ladder, just, a little out of his reach.
That's the 4th time they've targeted Dotson deep down the field. Has yet to have a catch on one of those go routes. They do have a pass interference on one, but yet no catches for Dotson deep down the field. Here's Green. The punt is off, and it's another high one. And it's going to hit and bounce and roll down right just shy of the 20 at the 21-yard line. And that's where Langston will set up shop. Here under 11 minutes to play in the third quarter. Both teams struggling on offense still here in the second half.
It's been a defensive game. I've very much enjoyed it, I believe.
I bet you do.
All the viewers know that for a fact. But here's the moment that we're going to see whichever offense wants to take control first is, who I believe is going to come out and win this football game.
1st and 10 here for Langston. Whitfield to the right of Cooper. Cooper takes the snap, fakes the handoff, back to pass. He's got men in his face immediately, and he throws it away. And it looks like they're going to say he did get out of that tackle box to avoid an intentional grounding. There was immediate pressure there by the Lions defense.
It seems like the 4 defensive linemen were already in the backfield by the time he began to go through his progression. And with those guys in my face, I'd throw it away too.
2nd and 10 here for Langston. It looks like Whitfield will remain in the game. 2 out wide to the right for Cooper, 1 to the left. Tracy in the backfield is the H-back. You got to turn around and hand it off to Whitfield. Keandre Belcher, while being engaged on the block. What a job there to bring down Whitfield for a 4-yard loss. 3-yard loss, rather.
Let's also see here, you'll see Kobe Roach 32 on the outside. What he does is he keeps that outside containment, causing Whitfield to slow up to try to cut behind his blocker's back, which gives Belcher time to scrape across the line of scrimmage to make that tackle in the backfield.
3rd and 13 here for Langston. and they have not been great in the passing game so far today. They are 5 wide here on 3rd and 13. Here's Cooper. He's back to pass. Lions bring 3. He gets the pass off over the head of the intended receiver, Mims, and that's going to bring up 4th down, and Langston out to punt again.
And that was great. They were trying to target the middle of the field. They understood that it was a zone. The freshman quarterback did a great job reading that. Just a tad bit too high, but the receiver is very lucky that it was too high because Kobe Roach was about to take his head off.
He was right there. Kobe Roach, your old defensive backfield counterpart in your playing days.
Old Roachy, that's what we used to call him.
Darisso out to punt, and then they go with a more traditional punting formation rather than that 4 to the left, 4 wide thing they do. Here's the lefty. Darisso gets it off. End over end. It's going to bounce at the 44, and that's where it's going to be downed as it was touched immediately. They're actually going to down at the 42-yard line, and that's where SAGU will take over on offense. Another good opportunity here. They've got pretty decent field position.
Yeah, they need to come in with a fresh mindset, knock off. You haven't done very well on offense up to this point, but that doesn't dictate that you're going to finish not doing very well. So they really need, as the screen's saying right now, they need to rev it up on offense, and they need to.
He's got 3 out wide to his left, 1 to his right. Good news, Justin Allen, who was shaken up earlier with a knee injury, is back in the game in the backfield. Here's Watson. Forever to throw. He gets the pass off, and it's almost intercepted. Was looking for Dotson, but it falls incomplete.
I'd like to see, some running action from Brylan Watson. He gets to about a 2.5, 3.5 count here. You'll see him take the snappy surveys. He goes through 1, 2, 3 progressions. And then if I'm a quarterback, and I had his athletic ability, because I surely don't, I'd like to see him, get a little bit more active on his feet and try to make something happen.
2nd and 10, 3 out wide to the left of Watson, 1 to the right, Justin Allen in the backfield. Langston, they bring 4. Watson with an option play, and he's just going to cut it upfield. Stays on his feet, a quick whistle, and they're going to say he was down for a loss of 1.
Well, they gave me what I asked for here, and we'll see. They stop his... he was down. He was down.
Yeah, he was definitely down. Loss of 1. Good call by the official. It's going to be 3rd and 11, and SAGU looking to avoid going 1 for 8. Or 1 for 9, rather, on 3rd downs if they convert here. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Allen behind Watson, takes the snap, rolling out to his right. He looks back to his left. He's looking for Allen on a wheel route down the sideline and cannot find him. Good coverage there by Langston as they didn't fall for that motion. That was James Cox, the linebacker, stride for stride with Justin Allen, and that's pretty impressive. Justin Allen, he's quick.
He's very quick. But I'm going to attribute that to his little tweaked knee that we saw early in this game today. And I like the little play action, misdirection there with the backside wheel. A lot of flow from defense. You go with the first flow and you see them rolling out of the pocket. So you're thinking, what are you doing? And with that backside wheel, I like them trying to shoot the shot, but there wasn't converted.
Another bad snap. Seth Green can't bring it in, and Langston will take over possession regardless of who has the ball, and they're going to get the ball again right inside the 30-yard line, and this has been the story of the day for Langston's offense. They have gotten 4 breaks now, including this one where they set up shop inside SAGU territory, inside that 30-yard line, and they've scored on 3 of those trips on the miscommunications from the SAGU special teams or a botched snap on offense. So far today, it's been 2 botched snaps on punts on the punting unit, 1 blocked kick, and then a horrific fumble by the SAGU offense inside their own 5-yard line. And Langston, they're in a good position right now.
And defensively in this territory, you just have to bend and don't break. If anything, just give up a field goal.
Cooper. Flea flicker. Here's Cooper back to pass. Throws it off his back foot, and it's going to be completed to Handy Jr., and he cuts it back upfield inside the 10-yard line, and that's what you got to do. If you can't get your offense moving, let's get a little trickeration involved.
Yeah, get some trick plays going, get some misdirections, get everybody having to think a little bit more than they need to. Oh, it seems that there's a player down on the field.
Good throw with the strength to get that pass off his back foot with a man right in his face. Was Cooper. And
I don't want to believe he's a freshman.
He found his receiver, Barry Handy Jr., as Landon Jones is the SAGU Lion who's slow to get up. And he is walking off the field on his own powers. That's good news. You got to think that he'll be okay. So Langston, first and goal from the 9-yard line as they are inside the red zone and threatening here on offense. Again, down 14-13 at the moment. And we've seen the SAGU defense has done a good job holding them to field goals rather than touchdowns inside the red zone. Here's Cooper. He's going to keep it himself, get it up the middle, breaks a tackle and into the end zone for a touchdown. And Langston will take the lead after a good RPO read pass, or a good option there for Jordan Cooper.
And that's a great inverted veer. That's something that you don't really see too much nowadays. And that was just a great read by him there. The defensive end went out with the running back, and so he kept it and split it right up the middle.
And it looks like they are going to go for 2 to go up 21-14 potentially. Right now they hold a 19-14 lead with 8:18 left to play in the third quarter. And a timeout.
Timeout. Langston. First charge of the second half.
Langston decides to talk it over. We'll see what they go with here for the point after attempt. If they decide to kick it or go for 2, you got to think that going for 2 is the wise thing. SAGU has been very bad on offense, and if you can go up 7, the way the SAGU's been playing, you might essentially end the game if you can go up 2.
Yeah, it'll give you a little cushion, and then you don't feel as much pressure, so then they can get back into that mindset of putting up as many points as they can just to try and get, it may be a little later now, for the votes to move up in the top 20. But there's still a chance for them to put up significant points here.
Coming out of the timeout, it looks like Langston will keep the offense on the field and elect to go for 2 to try to go up 21-14. And here is Cooper. Whitfield in the backfield to his right, 2 out to his right, split out wide, and 1 to his left. Cooper's going to roll out that to the right side, going to throw it back to his left, has a man in the corner of the end zone, and it's brought in for a conversion, and Langston goes up 21-14. He found his tight end, Keith Tracy, getting involved in the passing game.
And that, again, is that tricky that we talked about earlier, is you have everybody flowing one way, and you slip out one more, which here the tight end slip him out the opposite direction, and that's just an A and B pass right there.
So Langston takes advantage of another bad SAGU turnover. The snap almost essentially rolling to Seth Green, and it gets turned over inside the 30-yard line. And then with the help of a flea flicker from Cooper to Handy Jr., and then Cooper doing it himself, getting into the end zone from 9 yards out, gives Langston the 21-14 lead with that 2-point conversion. And now they've got that 1 touchdown lead that they had in that first quarter when they went up 7-0. And we'll see what SAGU does to respond. And if it's indicative of what the game has been so far, it might have to come from the defense or special teams. Robles on to kick. And he gets it off. It's a high, short kick, and it's going to go out of bounds. That's a break that SAGU could use. That's going to be a penalty, so SAGU's going to get good field position here. We await the call on the field.
Free kick out of bounds. Against the kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down, SAGU.
So SAGU will take over at the 35-yard line, just the third penalty on Langston.
I wouldn't be surprised if they start heading the ball off a little bit more in these upcoming series.
Michael Bledsoe in the backfield with Brylan Watson, 4 out wide for the young quarterback. He's going to turn around and hand it off to Bledsoe. Bledsoe bounces it up to the outside, and he falls forward for a gain of, we'll call it 5 yards there on first down.
See there, I think that's one thing that will definitely help SAGU's offense going on. As long as they can establish some kind of a run game, it'll open up their pass a little bit more, give them a little bit more time to make a decision when throwing the football as well.
Watson with 2 receivers stacked at the bottom of your screen. Hall and Dotson, he's going to turn around and fake the handoff, roll out to his right, dump it off at the middle of the field, and it's brought in for a first down by Patrick Hall, the senior. And you said Patrick Hall, he just seems to be sneaky good on these first down conversions. He just finds a soft spot in the defense there, and they convert.
And that's one great thing about Patrick Hall is he understands, because he used to play a little bit of DB, so he understands defensive schemes. And here you'll see him come across the formation, understand if they're sitting in the zone, so he's going to sit right in that soft spot between the linebackers and the safeties and help them convert this first down.
1st and 10, the Lions finally get a first down in what feels like forever. Bledsoe spins off a tackler, and he falls forward for, call it maybe half a yard. I'm sure they're going to say no gain. 2nd and 10 here for the Lions.
That was a great way to avoid the first contact that could have been in the backfield and then just get back to the line of scrimmage.
Look to the sideline to get a play on 2nd and 10 here for Watson in this offense. He comes back out to 4 wide, 2 on either side. Watson takes a snap, bobbles it, but he's back to pass. He rolls out to his left and is getting in trouble here. He breaks a tackle. He's got plenty of room to run. He's going to tuck it and try to get it upfield. Lowers the shoulder, and that's an exciting run for all but no gain. And it's going to be 3rd and 10 here for the Lions.
And there we see him just get back to the line of scrimmage. You know, initially he comes outside looking for a progression. I was scared right there. I was thinking just throw it away. Then he's able to come back across. And it seems like he's nursing his hamstring a little bit. And he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage there.
3rd and 10 here for the SAGU offense. They were able to convert earlier on this drive, albeit a 2nd down, so 3rd down here. 4 out wide, Bledsoe to the right of Watson. Low snap, he brings it in, back to pass. It's brought in by Dotson, and Dotson fights for the first down. It picks up a few more yards, and that's going to be move the chains for the Lions. I don't think he initially had it on the initial reception, but a good job by the senior to fight forward and get that first down. It was close.
That was a great catch. He had bobbled a little bit, and that's a great way to use the defensive back's initial hit to help, you know, recalibrate your balance and get back on your feet and to spin forward and get some more yardage.
So new set of downs here for the Lions, and they've got the ball inside Langston territory. Here is Watson, another low snap. He's back to pass. Gets it off to Dotson. Dotson brings it in, and it is walloped, but he's going to have enough for the first down. A good job by Dotson to bring that in, take the hit, and keep possession.
We're starting to see a little momentum shift here. You see Brylan Watson's getting more comfortable in the pocket. He's getting more comfortable throwing off his back foot there. And he was able to throw a strike to Dotson.
1st and 10 here for the Lions. 4 out wide. And get them to jump off sides. Oh, they blow the whistle. And a lot of times you'll see them, like you said, they'll have a free play, but they blew it dead.
Offsides, defense, number 11. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains first down.
And that's an unfortunate break for SAGU's offense. You would have liked to try to get a free play there, take a shot at the end zone, but they blew it dead. Typically, you'll let them see that. You'll see them let that play out, but not this time. 1st and 5 here from the 14. Watson back to pass. He's got time here. Evades a defender. Tucks it, and he's just going to go out of bounds. And he's going to lose 6 yards there. You got to kind of wonder, why not just throw it away?
Why not throw it away? I probably would have threw it to the dump off within a second and a half.
So now they're back behind the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd and 11. SAGU lines up with 3 receivers on the right, 1 to the left. That's Reggie Aguirre at the top of your screen. Watson looks to the sideline for a play. And they have to take a timeout as a play clock is running down.
Timeout. SAGU. First charge, the second half.
Let's go back to that 1st and 5 play where Watson rolls out there. He can make plays with his feet, and you got to wonder, at what point do you got to try to win the game with your arm? And in that situation, winning the game with your arm is essentially just throwing that ball into the stands.
Yeah, throw it in the stands, get it out, and I think that has a lot to do with his inexperience at quarterback. And knowing the weight that this position holds, there's the small little things that a lot of people like to overlook is that quarterbacks, you have to know the rules through and throughout more than a lot of players on the field. And it's the little things like that pay dividends, and sadly they only come about to people's attention is, when it's a situation like this where they could have thrown it away and been 2nd and 5, but now here they are at 2nd and 11.
Brylan Watson comes out of the timeout with 4 wide. Going to have 2 stacked down, or 2 bunched up at the bottom of your screen to his right. Michael Bledsoe behind him in the backfield. A sort of pistol formation, sends a man in motion. That is Rago. Watson takes a snap. He's back to pass. He's looking for Reggie again in the corner of the end zone. Off the hands. He can't bring it in. He had Reggie. He had his man beat in the corner, and it was underthrown. You got to think if maybe he can get a little bit more on that. We're looking at a touchdown.
You see him go through his first progression and know that's the play, how it's designed. Chunks, it is a little underthrown, and the DB does a great job of playing through the hands of Reggie Aguirre.
Like you said, good job of that defensive back to kind of catch up to Reggie and ultimately have good coverage. But now it's going to be 3rd and 11 here for SAGU. 4 wide for Watson. Bledsoe in the backfield. He sends Patrick Hall in motion. Here's the snap. Back to pass, dumps it off to Bledsoe. And Bledsoe again can't bring it in out of the backfield. And he had some room to run. And that has been an ongoing problem here for the SAGU offense. The running backs just cannot field passes.
Not only did he have Michael Bledsoe out there in the flat, but Patrick Hall, who he called in motion, was on a backside wheel. And he was very wide open. Definitely would have been a first down. More than likely would have been a touchdown if he'd have been able to complete that pass.
So TH comes on for the field goal. It's going to be a 37-yarder. It should be well within his range. There's no wind right now here in Waxahachie. Snap is good. The hold was down, and the kick is no good. He missed wide right. So SAGU, no points on the board. As we see a Langston player go down, it looked like he was celebrating the missed field goal, and as he came down, looked like he jumped in the air and tweaked his leg a little bit. We saw that happen a couple of weeks ago to a SAGU player. It's actually their punter, Devin Durisso, on the ground.
At least coming into this defensive series for SAGU, their defense was, getting a little bit longer break than, what they're normally used to. And so I look to see this defense coming out firing and maybe causing a turnover.
They may need it with the way their offense has been tonight, and they find themselves down 21-14. That last drive was their most successful drive of the night, of the evening, and it resulted in 0 points off the missed field goal off the foot of TH. So SAGU coming away with nothing on that possession. Finds Langston taking over at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10, as Cooper with Whitfield to his left, 2 to his right, Tracy at the H-back. He's going to take the snap here on 1st and 10. Hand it off to Whitfield. Whitfield's got a lot of room to run. He lowers his shoulder and picks up a first down. And that's a fantastic carry on 1st down by the Langston stud running back, Tim Whitfield.
And he's motioning to feed him, and I see Langston getting into that and feeding him more often, especially here right off the tackles. You see they had great blocks and gave him a good 13-yard rush there. And they'll also be able to chew some clock.
Absolutely. 3:20 left to play in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 here for Langston. Cooper letting this clock wind. He takes the snap, hands it off to Whitfield. Whitfield tries to cut it back up in the middle, but is met by that SAGU front 7, and they drop him for no gain, or a gain of 1 on 1st down.
That right there, the penetration by Jordan Coleman initially caused traffic in the backfield. He was able to get past and basically bull rush that offensive lineman and put him on the ground, causing Whitfield to have to readjust his running lane.
2nd and 9 here for the Langston offense. Cooper sends a man in motion. He's going to fake the handoff, but give it off to Whitfield. Whitfield gets brought down after a gain of another yard there on 2nd down. That's going to be 3rd and 8 here for this Langston offense.
And they brought the motion across hoping that it would deter the defense, but that front 7 was very disciplined, and they would counter the entire way.
SAGU has some substitutions here on 3rd down, maybe trying to get some pass defense on 3rd and long here. Well, 3rd and mid, 3rd and 8 here for Langston. They come out 5 wide, empty backfield, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Cooper takes a snap. SAGU brings 3. They drop 8, and they're going to get there for the first time tonight. Drake Rodriguez.
The true freshman coming up with a great play. Great hands.
Been playing like a man with his hair on fire all night tonight. And finally getting to the quarterback and bringing up 4th down. He's got a good young career ahead of him here, a young future ahead of him here at SAGU. So here comes the punting unit for Langston. Again, they run this kind of weird, they've got 4 almost receivers out wide to the left. And you almost think that a fake could come at any time. Darisso, he is going to fake it. He's going to take off and run. And Darisso breaks a couple of tackles, but they finally bring him down. And on 4th and 17, they run a fake inside their own territory, and they give SAGU the ball back. That is a head scratcher. And a guy who just limped off the field with a knee injury the series before is the one doing the running. That's very, very interesting from Langston.
There's a lot of unanswered questions we have, and we'll need Riker to go down there and get an answer.
Broke off a couple of tackles. He made it exciting for a second, but ultimately was brought down, and that was not really ever in any danger of converting the 1st down. Again, it's just a head scratcher as to why you trade field position like that in a 1-possession ball game. Gus Wright is down on the field, and he is not getting up, and the SAGU players surrounding him, Christian Cross and Kobe Roach and Keandre Belcher, awaiting their teammate here. And he has not moved. And that is not what you want to see. You take a look at it here. There you see number 33 on your screen, Gus Wright. Oh, and that head got folded up, and the face down Gus Wright still has not moved. And that is ugly. That is not what you want to see. Kind of unfortunate there. It looked like it happened on his own player. Hit him right square on that head.
In football, they've been implementing a lot of rules, to keep the head out of tackling. And then these are the freak things that you can't really control too much, is people moving around left and right and running across the field, people tackling and gang tackling. As much as they're making the game safer than they have, there's just certain things that are just inevitable, sadly.
We have a live look in at the Southeastern Weber International game. That one looks to be being handled by Southeastern 32-7 as they continue their successful football program. As we await some movement here from Gus Wright. Again, since being on the field after that injury has not moved. They did just flip him over, which is a better sign than you would think, that there's some sort of foundation there that they're able to feel comfortable moving him. Gus Wright, the 6 foot, 210-pound sophomore, who's been so good this season, the starter, has just come in and been a force on this defense. Again, a defense that has not been the issue for the Lions this season. And he's been such a playmaker.
He's been such an unsung hero, as I talked about earlier in the commentation, is that he does a lot of things that you won't see on a stat book.
And he sits up, and that is a fantastic sign. It looks like more along the lines of maybe he got his bell rung, but for him to be able to sit up, you hear the audience, you hear the people in attendance here on both sides, the Langston side and the SAGU side, clapping and applauding the fact that he's able to sit up. And it looks like at the end of the day, when all is said and done, it looks like he's going to be okay. Definitely scary to see a player go down like that and stop moving for an extended period of time. But he is going to be helped to his feet, and that is great, great news. Gus Wright, again, number 33, on his own power to the sidelines, and it looks like he's going to be okay. And I think everyone in this stadium.
Illegal substitution. 12 men on the field on the defense. 5-yard penalty, replay 4th down.
So that's probably why they faked the ball. They knew they had a free play. I didn't see the flag come in. But both sides, Langston and SAGU audiences and the players both with the sigh of relief. You never want to see someone go down like that. So it's going to be 4th and 10, or 4th and 12 rather, and they are going to punt it. So the punt is off, and it is going to be brought in and bobbled ultimately, but it's corralled back in. Jalen Moss is going to go down, and that was another scary play there. A flag comes in late, and it looks like it was thrown in the direction of one of the blockers. It looks like Bryce Bailey, potentially. So there's our answer as to why they faked it on that 4th and 17. I just didn't see a flag come out. I
saw it at the tail end of the play, like right as soon as Jalen Moss was being tackled. And then here,
During the return, personal foul, blindside block on the return team, number 50. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced for a minute to run. 1st down.
So they get Drake Rodriguez, who just had that big sack on 3rd down, for a blindside block. And that's going to move SAGU back inside their own 20-yard line.
And a blindside block is newer in football. As long as their chest was up and their chest was facing you, it was clean. But now they're implementing, if he is defenseless, if he doesn't see you, then it is a flag.
Michael Bledsoe takes the handoff for 1 yard on 1st down. It's going to make it 2nd and 9 as we approach 30 seconds left to play here in the 3rd quarter. SAGU down 21-14, and is what has been just an absolute defensive ball game. A lot of miscues for the Lions, the SAGU Lions, that is. A lot of miscues in the snapping game, both on offense and then special teams, has resulted in turnovers, which has allowed Langston to start with tremendous field position, and they've taken advantage, putting up 21 points off those mistakes. Here's 2nd and 9. Watson with 4 wide. He is back to pass. Langston brings pressure. He's going to get it out to the flat, and he's got his man Brock Rago for a 1st down, and that'll take us to the 4th quarter. SAGU converting on 2nd down, moving the chains.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter.
Getting it past that 30-yard line, or just right about at that 30-yard line, as we switch sides and get ready for the 4th quarter here in Waxahachie, in a game that a lot of us didn't see being this closely contested going into it. SAGU's putting up a fight.
SAGU's putting up a fight, and their defense is playing very well on the offense. Like you said, they're having miscues. yet to really find the rhythm and get things going offensively. But they just got a first down, and let's hoping that this is a good sign for this series. They can go down the field, punch in the football, and tie the game up.
There you see the volleyball score update from tonight. 3-0. Straight sets for the SAGU Lady Lions. Man, I'm going to tell you something. They're in 4th place right now in the Student Athletic Conference. They are very close to hosting a playoff game, and the Lady Lions are catching fire at the right time right now. You want to get hot here towards the playoffs. And a 25-11, 25-16, that's dominant. That second set got close, but that's a dominant performance by the Lady Lions.
If they can somehow pull off home field advantage, that'd be very great in the Schaefer Center, because I know those students like to pack it in and get loud and rowdy.
And they love their Lady Lions volleyball team, and they are always fun to watch. But back here in Waxahachie at Lumpkin Stadium, 1st and 10 for the Lions from the 29. Watson fakes it, and he's going to give it to the draw. Michael Bledsoe on the carry, and he loses 2 on first down. That's the first time in a long time that I've seen the Lions kind of run a traditional draw play, and it did not go anywhere.
And right there, I think with him, he shouldn't have tried to bounce it outside so soon. I think he should have just ran north and south and accepted that, he was going to get back to the line of scrimmage on that play.
2nd and 12 here for Watson, 4 wide. Bledsoe behind him in the pistol. They get a man to jump off sides. He's got a free play. He's going to go deep to Reggie. Reggie can't bring it in down the sidelines. It looked like that was going to be out of bounds anyway, and Reggie looked like he stepped out as well. But regardless, it's going to be a free 5 yards here for SAGU.
Flag on the play. Offsides. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains 2nd down.
That's what we're talking about. We saw that earlier where they blew a play dead on an offsides. But there they let it go, and that's what you got to do on a free play, take a shot downfield.
Yeah, I want to say that if the defensive lineman or whomever's in the zone where you can't be in, that if you're trying to move back.
Takes another shot. Patrick Hall can't bring it in. Would have had enough for first down yardage, and he was open and just could not bring that pass in. And that's going to bring up 3rd down.
That was a great pass by Brylan Watson.
We've seen him get a little bit more comfortable here in the second half in the pocket, and he's been throwing some dots out there. That was a good throw. Hall just couldn't haul it in. No pun intended. I really didn't try that. Here's 4 wide for Watson. 2 stacked down to the bottom of your screen, and 2 out wide to the right. Bledsoe lining up behind Watson in the sort of pistol formation. Watson back to pass. Langston does bring pressure. He pumps. He's rolling out to his left. He's got to get rid of it. Watson escapes another defender and tucks it. And Watson had a man wide open underneath that would have been enough for the first down. He had Michael Bledsoe wide open right in front of him. Let's see if you can see it here on your screen. Watson Bledsoe leak out of the backfield here.
Yep, he did a spin move, acted like he was going to block, and he sat down waiting for a pass so he could try to make something happen with his feet.
And Bledsoe, again, missed opportunity there for the Lions. Bledsoe found that soft spot in the coverage and was wide open for a first down, and Watson just missed him. Seth Green gets the punt off, and it's going to bounce and take a very favorable SAGU bounce down past the 25, down at the 24-yard line. And Seth Green, pretty good punt there.
Yeah, the times that he's been able to secure the snap and get a punt off, he's punted very well.
And that's something we've seen the Lions struggle with this season is their punting game. Seth Green has had a rough go about it this season, but tonight, like you said, if he can get his hands on the ball and actually get the punt off, he's been pretty good so far tonight. There we see another football score update. Tabor beating Avila 19-14 in that Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference. We saw Tabor play the SAGU Lions earlier this season. First and 10 here for Langston. Cooper turns around and hands it off to Whitfield. Whitfield met by a host of Lions, and he is absolutely leveled there on first down for a loss of 1.
That was a great fill by Landon Jones. Here you see on the replay, Roach sends it right back up the gut, and Trey August and Landon Jones were able to bring the boomstick to Whitfield.
I'm not sure of many people who can run through Trey August, let alone with a Landon Jones coming in behind him. 2nd and 11 here for Langston. Cooper sends Tracy in motion. Sends him in motion again. Here's Cooper, takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He's back to pass. Facing some pressure, rolls out to the left, flicks it out, and incomplete. Going for the interception was Jalen Moss. He made a good break on the ball. He was looking for his man, Mims, on that left side. But Jalen Moss with the closing speed. You always like to see that. We saw Jalen Moss get shaken up earlier with a knee injury, and the ability to, it shows that he's fine. He's able to close in on a play like that. And good news, we do see Gus Wright back out on the field. I didn't quite see him to start this defensive series, but he is out there. That's great news after seeing him hit the turf and not moving. Back out on defense. Langston runs a screen. They've got blockers. Trying to bounce to the outside is Handy Jr. Handy gets lit up there on that backside, coming from behind. There he is, Drake Rodriguez. It's hard to mistake a mane like that hanging off the head of Drake Rodriguez.
And you see him, he goes in there with a great swim move initially, and then as soon as he sees that the ball was passed, he's in immediate pursuit mode. And anytime you cut back, you have to be prepared for the people that are chasing you.
And as a defensive player, are those the kind of hits that you live for?
Those are the hits that you go to bed dreaming about.
You dream about those hits as a defensive player. It's going to be 4th down, and they are off to punt. The lefty gets it out, and there's no return man back for the Lions. I guess they thought maybe another fake was coming, but it's going to be downed just shy of the 30-yard line. We'll call it the 32-yard line, and that's where SAGU will set up shop here with under 13 minutes to go in the 4th quarter in a one-score ball game. SAGU down 21-14. There you see Montana Western beating Rocky Mountain. The Rocky Mountain Bears 40-10 in that Frontier Conference. And then Sterling in overtime over Southwestern, the Mound Builders, 20-17 from the Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference.
Rock Mountain Bears. I wonder if their mascot's name is Smokey.
I like that. I'd be a fan of that. Here's Watson on 1st down. They look back to the sideline to get a play after they kind of saw Langston maybe give away a blitz here. And Langston looks like they're going to fall back. And they do bring 5. Watson gets it out to Reggie. Reggie gets hit immediately. And they're going to give him a gain of, we'll call it 4 on 1st down. Makes it 2nd and 6.
That was a great 1-2 route right there.
And even when the completion is made, Langston's defensive backs do a good job of being right up in the grill of the receiver as he catches the ball. Not a lot of yards after catch for these SAGU receivers.
Langston's DBs swarm the football. That's what their DC loves to preach every day at practice.
Here's Watson. He's back to pass. He pumps, rolls out to his right, tries to get it to his receiver, Patrick Hall, and Hall gets blasted after the incomplete pass.
See here his initial progressions. He didn't like it. He saw it collapse and he tried to throw it. He wasn't enough on it.
He had him. If he could get it maybe just maybe a foot higher, he had Hall on the reception. Yep. 3rd and 6 here for SAGU. Watson has 3 out to his right, 1 to his left with Bledsoe in the backfield. 3rd and 6. Watson back to pass. He's got time. He's going to look to go deep with it and can't bring it in. He was looking for Brock Rago, and it was broken up by the defender. And he had him there, but Nicholas Fowler making a break on the ball.
There you see Brock running the route. Stops a tad bit early. Maybe heard some footsteps on that one. Thankful it wasn't intercepted.
The punting unit comes back out again for the Lions. Seth Green back to do the punting duties. And Langston has brought pressure every single time SAGU has dropped back to punt. And why not? They've already shown that they can't consistently complete the snap to punter exchange. This one is off, and it is brought in after the fair catch at the 37-yard line for Langston. And there you see a top 25 matchup. Dickinson State, the Blue Hawks beat Waldorf 30-28. Last second field goal that they beat the Warriors in that North Star Athletic Conference. Here comes Langston. 12 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter, up 21-14. He hands it off, and there is King. King gets enough for a first down, and a good first down carry there. Toma King, a real change of pace back there for Langston. Tim Whitfield, their starter, who's over 100 yards tonight, or just around at 100 yards, comes in at 220 pounds, and you got King coming in at 190.
Yeah, you get a little bit of thunder and lightning there. You have Whitfield to come in, wear down the defense, and then you bring in King to do King things and slice up that defense.
1st and 10 here for Langston as the clock keeps ticking away, and the SAGU defense needs to get off the field to give their offense a chance to potentially tie this game up. King gets tripped up after that initial push for no gain on first down.
That play was made by Kobe Roach.
Kobe Roach, one of the upperclassmen, just the leaders on this team, has pretty much been a starter from day one for the SAGU defense. It feels like he's been here forever, but he just continues to make plays. 2nd and 10 here for Langston. Cooper takes a snap, and he's going to hand it off to King. King looks to reverse field with it, and there is Gus Wright. Can't bring the running back down, but thankfully for him, there was the rest of his SAGU defensive teammates there to help clean it up, and that is a tremendous stop on 2nd down, and that makes it 3rd and very long. And it's good to see Gus Wright making an impact like that after the scare that we had earlier.
It's very good, and this attests to this SAGU defense. They swarm the football just like Langston, and they're very disciplined with their backside pursuits, as you see, that they don't allow the cutback to turn into positive yardage.
3rd and 19 here for Langston. SAGU looks like they're going to bring a couple of people up in that box and go with one safety over top. Cooper is back to pass. He steps up in the pocket looking to throw it. He's just going to check it down. Finds Handy Jr. He's trying to cut it up, trying to get anything he can, but he gets brought down just shy of the original line of scrimmage. That's going to be 4th and 11 for Langston. And the punting unit comes back out onto the field.
That's going to be Landon Jones on the tackle. He does a great job at pursuing that, what seemed to be like a delayed bubble screen. And those things are always tricky to read because you have to pay attention to the big boys running down the field, and you have to try to understand which way the receiver is going to try to run.
So 4th and 11, Langston back to punt. Durisso, the lefty, he gets it off, and it's a line drive kick. And it bounces, and it looks like it's going to settle right around that 20-yard line. Call it the 22. They're going to down at the 21, rather. 21-yard line here for SAGU as they take over on offense. And we are getting dangerously close to the halfway point here in the fourth quarter. These minute by minute, the Lions are running out of time to try to tie this ball game back up. Down 7. If not scored in this second half. The only score came off of a Langston touchdown and then a 2-point conversion, thanks to a bobbled snap from the punting unit. Here is Watson. Watson fakes the handoff, gets it out to Dotson. Dotson tries to spin back out towards the sideline, throwing a stiff arm. He's going to get pushed out of bounds after a, we'll call it 6-yard gain, making it 2nd and 4.
That's a great little distraction there with the fake handoff and the immediate throw out to Dotson. Dotson's been holding his own out there on the wing and coming up with some great catches and then some great yards after the catch.
Second and 4 sends Brock Rago in motion. Watson fakes a handoff. He's going deep to Reggie down the sidelines. Can't bring it in. And he was wide open. And that would have been a huge gain on 2nd down. But the hit looked like it jarred the ball free if it didn't already go through the hands of the receiver. Dorian Williams broke that up.
Yeah, you see here it was a perfect pass right in a very small window, and he heard the footsteps coming, and then he felt the helmet next.
3rd and 4 here for the SAGU offense. He sends Rago in motion. Turns into 4 wide, 2 on either side. And he hands it off to Bledsoe. Bledsoe up the middle, Gabe Sanders up the middle. And there we see the north-south running of Gabe Sanders. And he gets the Lions a first down, a much-needed first down.
He's a very small, compact running back. You know, he holds good weight, and he runs with it very well. He's pretty quick, and I just love north and south running. And he had a big hole opened up by the offensive line right there.
So new set of downs here for SAGU. As Watson lines up with 3 to his left, 1 to his right. Sanders remains in the backfield. He sends Hall in motion, and he gives it to Sanders, and he gets a gain of none there on 4th down.
And he was stopped right at the line of scrimmage. This Langston front 7 seems to be fired up down there. They probably understand that this drive has a lot of weight to it with winding down on 7 minutes left in the game. They're up 7. You know, they're trying to stand tall right here and put it right back in their offense's hands.
2nd and 10 here for the Lions. 3 out wide to the left. Sanders remains in the backfield. Watson back to pass. He has a pretty clean pocket, gets it out to Dotson. Dotson keeps his feet and gets enough yardage for the first down. And the SAGU offense, they're moving here.
Yeah, you'll see them moving. You'll see Dotson with what I call a pivot route, and that's one of the hardest routes to guard defensively, in my opinion, because you see them make that hard cut inside, and so you're overly aggressive, and you want to jump the route just as much as they want to catch it, and then they stop on a dime and go right back outside.
They move the chains and have 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. .640 left to play here in the 4th quarter. 4 wide here for Watson. He hands it off. And a fumble! Watson picks it up. He's going to try to run it to the outside. And a fortunate break there for the Lions. It seems like the first time today they've had a fortunate bounce on a fumble, and it goes their way, and they recover, albeit for a loss of 2.
It seemed as if it was a read option, and he was trying to pull it, but the running back had already clamped down on it.
So it's going to be 2nd and 13, a loss of 3 on that busted play. And here is Watson, 3 out wide to his left. Bledsoe checks into the game now in the backfield. Here's Watson, quick pass out to Reggie. Reggie tries to make a man move, and he cannot get any more than that initial push, and they're actually going to mark him down for a loss of 2, and that brings up 3rd and 15 here for SAGU.
You see him catch it out here in the flat, and he tries to make something happen and is just stood up while this defensive end comes across the field with the full head of steam and just finishes off a blow.
They're going to say just a loss of 1, rather, but 3rd and 14 for this SAGU offense seems like quite the hill to climb. And they're going to come out there. You see the 3rd downs on either side. Both offenses have been very, to be honest, it's just been bad tonight. SAGU 3 of 14, Langston 2 of 13. Just have not been good. And Coach Ryan Smith calls a timeout.
Prior to the snap, timeout, SAGU. Second charge to the second half.
Their second timeout here in the second half, so they've got 1 remaining with 5:28, just under 5.5 left to go in the ball game. And they're faced with a really tough 3rd and 14. Like I said, it's quite the hill to climb here with the way your offense has played tonight.
Would you say that with 5.5 minutes left that you'd say that you're going to go for it on both 3rd and 4th down if it comes to 4th down?
I think if SAGU's got a chance to go for it on 4th, they've got to pick up 6 or 7 here. If they get no gain, you have to punt it. You got to trust your defense to get the ball back. I mean, you might get the ball back 3 minutes left to play, but unless you get 6 or 7 here, you got to punt it. And then we'll see. It all depends on this play. We could be looking at 4-down territory, but if it's 4th and 14, I think you got to come out and try to pin them inside the 20-yard line and then leave it up to your defense to get that ball back. I mean, maybe even leave it up to your defense to get a score with how the offense has been tonight. But here is Watson on 3rd and 14, sends Hall in motion. Watson is going to take the snap. He's back to pass. Langston brings 3, and he tries to get it out to his man, and it's almost intercepted. He was looking for Dotson, and that ball hung up in the air for what seemed like days. And that's going to be 4th down, and they will bring on the punting unit.
You see him. He targets Dotson. Dotson able to get his hands on it initially. And the DB does a phenomenal job of playing through the hands and almost pulling it right out of Brian Dotson's hands and going the other direction with it.
It wouldn't have been enough for the first down, but it would have made going forward on 4th very manageable. It would have been about maybe 4th and 5 if Dotson could have brought that in. But regardless, it's going to be 4th and 14, and the punting unit is on for the Lions in Seth Green. And Langston kind of hangs back on this punt, and Green's punt is high, and fair catch called for and brought in at the 25 with 5:15 left to play in the game. And there you see Texas College. It was tied earlier, but Bethel really pulled away with that one, 51-14 in a Sooner Athletic Conference score update as Texas College drops to Bethel. And then we see Southeastern, our executive producer, John Cookman's alma mater, beating Weber International 39-14 as they solidify their place in that top 20 in the NAIA polls.
And here defensively, if I'm the head coach, Ryan Smith, you know, I'm still cool as a cucumber because this defense has been playing well all night, and I see them at least forcing a punt.
1st and 10 here for Langston. Cooper hands it off to Whitfield. Whitfield trying to get around the edge. Gus Wright did a good job there of setting that edge, and then the rest of the SAGU defense and Jalen Moss and Bryce Bailey able to bring Whitfield down for a loss of 4.
And that's what we were talking about. He's an unsung hero earlier, is that he was able to make this running back spill it to the sideline while his cavalry came in and tackled him in the backfield.
It's going to be 2nd and 14 here for Langston, and that's what we're talking about. SAGU, their defense has to get off the field here. They want to get a 3 and out to give their offense a chance with right around 3 minutes left in the game to try to get a drive going. If Langston gets a first down here, that could spell defeat for the Lions, the SAGU Lions, that is, as Langston is going to let every last second of this play clock run down, and he's going to keep it himself, dump it off. He finds his man across the middle, and he is brought down quickly, but a nice quick completion there to Jeremy Neal. And that brings up 3rd and 10 as they get back to that original line of scrimmage.
Lennon Jones does a great job of corralling him as soon as he catches the football and bringing him to the turf.
We approach 4 minutes left to play here in this ball game, and Langston taking their time to get the play into the quarterback. And why not? Nursing a 1-possession lead, 21-14 here in Waxahachie. 3rd and 10, play clock down at 5. Cooper is going to take the snap, fakes the handoff. He's back to pass, and he is brought down for a sack. And there we see Noah Gibson, the freshman, making his presence felt, and he's going to get the SAGU defense off the field, and Langston has to punt it from their own 15, so we could see the field positions flip around here for the SAGU offense. Huge play there by Gibson.
And that was a pivotal play defensively. The defense has been playing well all night, and that right there just put the stamp on how well this defense has been playing.
On to punt is Devin Durisso, the lefty. Gets the punt off. It's a low line drive. It could bounce for a while. It's going to bounce and settle right around that 45-yard line and right on that 45-yard line. And that's where SAGU will take over with 2:49 left to play in this ball game. This could realistically be their last shot at trying to tie this ball game up with one timeout.
The great Robert Griffin III once said, pressure either makes diamonds or bursts pipes. And we're about to find out what we're getting.
We will see. Brylan Watson down 21-14. 2:49 left to play in the game. He comes out with 4 wide from the 45. Watson Bobbles the snap. He's got to take off. He gets the throw off, and it's dropped, but broken up, rather. Good play there by the defensive back, Justin Herbert. A flag is down on the field. Awaiting a call on the field here.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains first down.
Not a penalty you ever like seeing. Evan Greathouse gets nabbed on the ineligible receiver downfield. So march that back 5 yards. And now it's 1st and 15 now for the Lions. Watson. They're going to do a little trickery. Here's Jalen Moss on the field. He's going to go to throw it to Dotson. Dotson tries to go over the defender to bring it in, and he cannot. So SAGU pulling all the tricks out of their sleeves. And we see Jalen Moss, again, who's a defensive back, into the ball game. Not a terrible throw. He gave Dotson a shot at it.
He gave Dotson a shot, and as the ball came down and that defensive back got good position on Dotson, Dotson had to become the defensive back right there.
2nd and 15 now for the Lions. 2:35 left to play. And Matt, now I would say you're in 4-down territory. You've got to try to get something going here on offense. You cannot punt the ball again. Here is Watson. He's got 5 wide. We've seen some success out of this formation tonight. And they whistle.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense number 12. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, remains 2nd down.
So now it's going to be 2nd and 20 on 2 penalties that have killed the Lions, killed the SAGU Lions here this drive. And it brings it back to the 35, so now they've got a very long way to go and essentially 3 downs to do it. But here is Watson. He's going to stay in this 5-wide formation. He's back to pass. Langston brings 3. He steps up. He's going to let it go down the middle of the field, and it is brought in for close to a first down by Patrick Hall. What a catch, coming back to the ball and picking it up almost off the ground. What a catch there by the senior.
And that was a great play by Brylan Watson, sitting in the pocket, acting as if he was going to scramble, and then finding Patrick Hall coming across. You see him, he step up as if he's going to run the ball, and then boom, he hits it right there. Patrick Hall comes back and makes a great catch.
What a catch. Makes it 3rd and 1. Now they can do anything they want here. Sanders is in the backfield. They could just turn around and hand it off to him and get that first down. And it looks like they will not. They'll fake the handoff. He's back to pass. And he was looking for Dotson. He could not find him. And that's going to bring up 4th and 1 here for the Lions offense. And this could be the ball game.
Yeah, you would assume that they would hand the ball off there. You know, I guess they were trying to catch the defense off guard, that, you know, they were expecting a run and they wanted to get a little RPO action going in there. But here is a big down. This is the ball game right here.
Sanders is in the backfield behind Watson, 4 wide. Watson checks to the sideline. Fourth and 1. Here's Watson. He takes a snap. He's going to hand it off to Sanders, and Sanders is stopped for a loss. And the Lions will turn it over to Langston on 4th down. And you got to wonder, why not do that on 3rd and give yourself a chance to set something up on 4th down? I think everybody on the Langston sideline knew that they were going to Sanders on that play.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, Adam. I would honestly reverse those 2 plays.
Yep.
I'd run the RPO on 4th down, if anything, and run the running play on 3rd and 1, which I believe you would have had a first down.
I am 100% in agreement with you, Matt, on that one. But that's going to give Langston the ball. SAGU's got 1 timeout, so they cannot stop the clock any more than that 1 time. So look for Langston to effectively run this clock out and escape from Waxahachie with a win over the SAGU Lions. 21-14, and it looks like SAGU's just going to hold on to that timeout and let this clock run down as they are prepared to go 0-8 on the season. And Langston will move to 6-2, 5-1 in conference. But if you're Langston, you wanted to walk into Waxahachie against a winless SAGU team and score more than 21 points and walk away with more than just a one-possession victory to try to get you some points or some votes in that top 20 poll to try to get a playoff bid here in the NAIA playoffs. And SAGU will take a timeout here after the second down run.
Timeout. SAGU. Third and final charge timeout of regulation.
So they do that. So they could potentially get the ball back here after a third down play. Could run the clock down to 20 seconds, maybe under 20 seconds, and you get the punt off. You're essentially banking on returning a punt for a touchdown at that point. But Coach Smith, this is really the only time he could use that timeout to try to get the ball back was after that second down play. And we'll see here as the 3rd and 7 opportunity comes for Langston. But as it stands right now, again, they are looking to escape Waxahachie with a win over a conference foe, really a conference rivalry that's really been who you've tried to knock off the past 4 seasons as the conference champ between Langston and SAGU. Now, SAGU just not really been able to get to that point. As 3rd and 7 here, 52 seconds left in the fourth quarter after SAGU's final timeout. 3rd and 7, Langston, Cooper takes the snap. He's just going to hand it off to Whitfield. Whitfield up the middle, dragging defenders with him. Takes a lot of time off the clock. Pushes the pile. What a carry by Tim Whitfield. And you can thank Tim Whitfield for walking this game off as Langston, on the back of their 1,000-yard rusher, eclipses 100 yards for the game after that carry right there. Look at that initial stop and just look at the surge. There are 6 defensive players there for SAGU to try to wrap up Whitfield, and he just kept the pile moving, and Langston will just kneel it out and walk away with a 21-14 victory over the SAGU Lions. There's a whistle. SAGU saying they have the ball. They do. SAGU has the ball. They fumble the snap on the kneel-down attempt. And now with 14 seconds left on the clock, SAGU has a chance on offense here. What just happened, Matt?
I do not know what happened, but we have 14 seconds to tie the ball game up or go for the score, 2-point conversion to take the win.
That's what you do?
That's what I'm going for the 2-point.
I'm right there with you.
Going for the dagger.
100%. 100%. You have no wins on the season. You got to score first. 21-14, 14 seconds left. SAGU's got no timeouts. Anything they do complete has to be past that first down yardage or to the sidelines to stop the clock.
Yep, it's unlike the NFL. You get the first down. They stop the clock to get the chains moved, and then once the chains are set up, then they'll start running again. So essentially, that you get at least a couple seconds.
So grace. You're telling me there's a chance.
There's a chance.
14 seconds left. Here's Watson with 5 wide. You got to look for him to take a shot deep downfield. He takes the snap, back to pass. He's got to get rid of it. Watson completes it to Dotson. Dotson's going to get brought down. There's 6 seconds left. The clock is going to stop. They have to get up and spike it. The line, everyone needs to get there. 6 seconds left after the first down. The ball is placed. They've got to spike it. 5 seconds, 4, and they get the ball spiked with 4 seconds left from the 42-yard line. You got to think this is well within Watson's range to try to get something off to the end zone. A Langston player is down on the field. It looks like he might be cramping up as they're trying to stretch that out. Can you imagine after a fumbled snap on a kneel-down attempt. It makes sense. You've been taking snaps from the shotgun all night, and this is the first time you go under center. You're not used to it. That's the problem with these college offenses that take all their snaps from the shotgun. They're not used to getting up there and kneeling the ball down from the victory formation.
Maybe they should start taking the shotgun snap and kneeling down.
There's not something you think you need to practice is that simple snap to the quarterback exchange. But for Langston, it's given the SAGU Lions life here. 2nd and 10, but the down and distance doesn't matter. 4 seconds left. This is the ball game. Brylan Watson with 5 wide. The blocking has to be there. It looks like Langston's going to drop 8 and rush 3. So the SAGU offensive line has to hold itself here. Back to pass is Watson. He's got time. He's going to step up in the pocket. He dances around. He's got to get rid of it, and he will not. He goes down and is sacked, and that will be the ball game as Langston walks away with a 21-14 victory as Brylan Watson just could not get the ball out. And that's how your ball game will end, with Langston moving to 6-2 and 5-1 in conference. As they meet at midfield and shake hands, that was a game for the ages. The winless SAGU Lions throwing everything they had at Langston, and up until the last seconds, it felt like they had a shot in this ball game.
Yep.
And there you see the updated standings here in the Sooner Athletic Conference. Ottawa still reigns at the top of the Sooner Athletic Conference at 6-0, 8-0 overall. Very, very good team, and we get to see them in a couple of weeks. That is going to be a game to watch. As you see the SAGU schedule, after the loss to Langston, they go up to the Panhandle up in Goodwell, Oklahoma to face OPSU. And then right back here for November 16th's matchup against Ottawa, Arizona, who boasts a top 5 offense in the nation, scoring close to 60 points a game. And this SAGU defense has its work cut out for it on that next game. That will be our next football broadcast here, November 16th. Well, for our fantastic student crew who does such a good job every week to bring you these broadcasts, not just football, but volleyball and soccer and everything across the SAGU campus in the world of sports. For our sideline reporter, Riker Russell, for my broadcast partner, Matt Williams, I'm Adam Ferguson. Thank you for watching the SAGU Sports Network.